Good evening, everyone. Good evening. How have been our holiday?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Noe Consola.
Good evening, Tobiloba. How are you now?
I'm fine. How are you? I hope you're enjoying your holiday, your resting.
I'm trying, though. I'm trying.
All right, that's good.
Um, Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Please confirm if you can hear me. Good evening.
Good
Uh,
evening, Mr. Isaac. I can hear you.
I'm fine. I'm fine. And you, man. So
I'm fine.
welcome to uh the night week, which is the bootcamp week. Congratulations if you are here and if you got the message. Congratulations for making it this far. I won't lie to you, it's a big feat. So many people. I think we have over 3,000 registrations, and we only have roughly 250 people that qualify for the bootcamp, even for the capstone. You making it here is a big feat, and allow me to congratulate you for getting this far. It's not meant for everyone. Um, uh, Thank you so much for putting in the work. Thank you so much. Because if you didn't put in the work, you won't be here. So thank you. And how was our capstone? How was the capstone? Hope we enjoyed it. Hope we learned a lot. Let me hear from you. I can see Chukura here. I can see Divine. I can see Olua. I can see Onikosola. So how was the capstone? Anyone that wants to share, if you love to share, how was the capstone? So Mary, you have the floor.
Okay, for me, the capstone project was the first I've ever worked on because I really didn't know anything about product management before this Dive Africa, which I'm really grateful for. So I want to say thank you to the organizers, to my lecturers, to everyone who has supported me all through. And the capstone project was an eye opener that there is a whole lot to learn and a whole lot for me to still continue to learn. But I thank you all for the start because I know fully well that I'm going to go very far. So it was okay, but at the same time it was complicated too. So that's how it was for me, though. Thank you all very much.
So thank you, Mary. Thank you for saying thank you. I do say that a lot. Thank you for saying thank you because not everyone knows how to say thank you. So thank you for saying thank you, and thank you for putting in the work. Thank you for learning. Thank you for joining the class. Thank you for submitting your assignments because we have so many excuses not to submit assignments, especially if you are in engineering. We have light issues, we have data issues. Even a couple of days ago, I think that was on Sunday. Um, I was to stream a program, like one of my church programs. It was a major program, a major program, and we had light issue, electricity issue, light issues, and data issue. We have unlimited data. Even it was five. I was using 5G, and it kept cutting, and cut. So as an Nigerian, you have plethora of excuses not to submit your assignment, not to join the class. It might be, especially if you're a Lagosian, um, you might be in traffic for hours, and your battery and your phone battery and all that. So thank you for putting in the work. Thank you for not giving lame excuses. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's a pleasure. And we hope to do this as often as possible, and we hope to make the training free as long as possible. So Zacchaeus, please, you have the floor now. If you want to share, how you did your capstone, what stood out for you, and Zacchaeus,
Good evening.
uh, good evening, man. Good evening. Oh, sorry.
Good evening, sir.
Good
And
evening.
good
I
evening to
was I was
everyone.
expecting a man, and sincerely, wow.
No, no.
Okay. Good evening.
My initial name is Ido, so the Zacchaeus is my surname.
Okay, man. Okay.
Yeah. About my journey in Dev Africa, it has been a pleasant one. Actually, I had no knowledge about product design. Then I joined with the mindset of gaining a lot, and I actually gained a lot. And during the
Mm,
capstone project, I won't say it was easy. So it was quite difficult, but I thank God I was being able to skate through it, and I was able to submit at the appointed time. So I'm just grateful for everyone, both my tutors and those that even referred me to the Dive Africa program itself. So I'm just grateful because it's just a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I'm so happy that I'm being able to utilize it for my own benefit. And I still believe that going forward, I'm still going to make something big out of it. So thank you to everyone.
um,
Nice meeting
so
you all.
thank you, Dubu. Thank you for saying for reaching out to your instructors, your community manager, and your referrer. I'll be your referee. How do I put it now? So it's also an opportunity to say thank you to your instructors because like I said, um I said some weeks back, uh, last week was the last time you be having access to your instructors, except for when you are defending. They will just give some input. Okay, just correct one of the things you did. So it is this is also an opportunity to reach out to your instructors to tell them thank you because they really put in a lot. They show in week out to give you quality content, to teach you, to pour their heart to you. It's also an opportunity to tell them thank you. We can't say that enough. I'm also saying thank you on behalf of you guys, but I wish you can say it yourself. To thank them, you can go to their Slack DM. You can collect their number. You can go to their LinkedIn page and just tell them thank you sincerely. Sincerely, they did a lot. Uh, so I have one person from PM. I have one person from product design. We have um, data analysis here. We have mobile. We have which other talk? We have back end and front end. So I expect, if not two, at least one person from data, um, from front end, from back end and mobile. Or we didn't do the capstone. We didn't submit the capstone. At least anyone. I know Mr. Chukwu is from data. I know Divine is from data. Onye Consola, I think you are from PM, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
Oh, you
PM.
guys from PM too, yeah. So any other person? Who again? Let me see.
I'm from PM too.
You're from PM. Yeah, I made.
Yeah,
Of course, I knew you. Of course.
Yeah, yes, I'm from PM also, Stephen.
Yeah. Yeah.
and
I'm
I
from
submitted
data
already.
analysis.
I know you, man. I know you. So Divine, you have the floor if you want to say thank you to your instructors, to your mentor, to anyone. So you
Okay.
have the floor.
All right. Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. Okay, I want to use this opportunity to thank Dive Africa for this great opportunity, and I want to also thank Mr. Okiki, Mr. Ebenezer, Miss Muturayo, and even Mr. Isaac. Yes, you did a very good job. Like, thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. And I also want to thank my Group 2, and Mr. Chukura. A big shout
Mm.
out to everyone. Thank you all.
Yes, so we are here.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Chukura. So they are saying thank you. Thank you, Divine, for saying thank you. I'm going to extend my greetings to Mr. Ebenezer and Mr. Mutua and Mr. Okikitsu. So thank you, Divine. So another person from back end and front end, of course. We heard from PM, we heard from product design, we heard um, from data. So anyone from backend. Okay, Bash, you have the floor.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Yes, sir. So I'm from front end engineering, and basically, it's just to say thank you and thank you particularly to our instructor, Mr. John. He has really done a very great job for us. For me personally, I've been involved in a couple of trainings like this, but Mr. John actually gave me a focus this time around, and the capstone was quite good. And also a great eye opener that man, you've not known anything yet. I had to learn a whole lot of things. YouTube got tired of me asking them different questions to watch this and all that. But it actually pushed me, Sha. So really, and thank you to the organizers of this training. I can't just imagine that the whole thing has been free all this while. So thank you to everyone, and then to my group members too, group 2 members of front end. Thank you so much for the
Mm.
opportunity to learn and to collaborate. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Bash. Thank you. I can testify. I'm a testimonial. How would I say it? So, Mr. John did a very wonderful job. He did a very wonderful job. If I would like to, this the first phase should have ended like a couple of weeks ago. I think during week 6 or there about. But Mr. John he kept asking for time. Like, oh, I'm here to cover the whole curriculum. No, let me teach them this, let me teach them that. So he did a very wonderful job. See, please tell him thank you. You can't say it enough. I'm sincere. Um, you can't tell him thank you enough. He kept asking for time. Also goes to for product management managers to product management. Um, Mrs. Fumilayo. No, no, my people, no. They kept asking for time, so we just have to attend for like 2 weeks. So tell them thank you. Anywhere you see them, tell them thank you. Thank you, thank you. You can't say that enough. Thank you so much. Thank you to Mr. Palumi too. Yeah. So they did a wonderful job. So from back end, anyone from back end, because if no one from back end, I will be very, very angry. I will be angry spiritually, physically, emotionally. So I think yeah, um Lin- um I don't want to murder your name. Please, you can just
Lindy way. It's Lindy way.
okay. So you have the floor, man.
Evening.
A good evening, man.
Evening. I'm from the back end, and I'd like to thank my instructor, Mr. Michael. As much as it was a very like difficult journey for us, but he was with us, and then we are here today, all because of him. And I'd like to thank him from the bottom of my heart. And yeah, really appreciate him.
Hmm. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. AY too. Oh my God. Oh my God. He poured out everything. He didn't hold anything back. He poured out everything. So just tell him thank you. Go to his LinkedIn page and tell him thank you. Just flood his DM. Just tell him thank you. Because after this week, you won't have access to them. You can only get to across to them from their social media handles. So just flood their DMs with a thank you message. I um, I'm short of words. But Mr. AY too, I hope he's on this call, so you can just tell him thank you. Please flood his DM with thank you message. So Mrs. Damilola, you have the floor. You have the floor, man.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. I'm from product design track. I want to especially thank, um, let me start with our community manager, Miss Anike. I really want to appreciate that. She did so much for us. I remember when we have deadlines and she would have to like come through for us and all of that. She was always there for us. I mean, she's still always there for us. I really want to like appreciate her so much. Then to our tutors, Mr. Yusuf, Mr. Emmanuel, and our last two, I can't remember them. I want to appreciate every one of them for always taking their time to teach us. During classes, we have questions. We are always asking questions about questions, and they never get tired of answering these questions. I really want to appreciate them. I also want to appreciate my team members, my colleagues for constantly showing up in class. Yes, I feel like we attend the class most amongst all of that track. We're always like in class. We always turn up, right? So I really want to appreciate my team members for their cooperation. And on behalf of my team members, I want to thank Dive Africa for this opportunity. This is the once in a lifetime opportunity that came on platter or silver. And I really want to appreciate them for giving us this opportunity to learn, to enlighten us, to open our eyes to different opportunities, and to solve real world problems. Thank you so much. May God continue to bless you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Damola. Thank you for speaking out. Thank you for saying thank you. I can relate. Miss Anike, I can relate. I think I had an encounter with her. I think that was last week or towards the capstone. She kept asking for time. No, I think I initially gave the deadline of a week, and he said no, no, it is not enough. Oh, no, want. So I had to just extend. So you guys don't know what's happening at the back end. They really did a lot. They did a lot. There's you can only say so much. Um, but thank you to the instructors. I can see some of them. I can see Ms. Damilola from PM. I can see uh,
For product design, no.
yeah, I know. Yeah, of course. I can see Ms. Damilola for PM. I can see and oh, again. I can see Mr. Mutokbe here. So I can see Mr. AY from backend. Is the instructor for backend, and he did a very good job. So if anyone of the community managers or instructors would like to have a word with us, probably a word of encouragement moving forward, or how to navigate from here, because like I said earlier, this is the last week we'll be having a free and undenied access to them. So if any one of them would like to just address us, um, give us one or two um, um, anyone, okay, Mrs. Victoria, please, you have the floor, ma.
Hi guys, good evening everybody. Um, it's kind of like a bittersweet feeling because it was not quite long we started this journey. We've had like back-to-back fights, back-to-back enjoyments, back-to-back. It's been an amazing time of learning. We've had to like put our best foot forward. I want to say a big shout out to Dive for this initiative. It's really amazing that we can bring people together and inspire them to want to pick up a skill. I want to say a big shout out to my instructors. I know I can be very stressful, and they all came through for me at every point in time, even when I was bugging them for makeup class. Mr. Yakub, Mr. Lani, Mr. Emmanuel, thank you so much. My PD class, God, yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys. You guys made the work very easy for me. Damlola, my class rep, thank you so much. So many times you've come through for me. I'm really appreciative. And I just want to say, I've said this before in class, there is so much, so much, so much that you can actualize. There is so much that you can achieve if you put your mind to it. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. And one thing about these tech spaces, there is always room for learning. You're always learning. There is no day that you wake up and you won't learn something new. So try as much as possible to put your mind to it. Try as much as possible to be intentional about growth. Because while you think that you are in a space, other people are already surpassing that. So try as much as possible to put your mind to it. And this goes to every member of every track as well. You can't just say, oh, I've learned this, I want to relax. No. Outside from here, it's a whole different world. You might not have the luxury that we give you here. It's very different working with real life task and all others. So try as much as possible to put your best foot forward. Make sure you're always learning. Make sure that you carve your niche. You might not get the best of everything, but just make sure that you don't give up. So shout out to everyone for joining. Thank you so much. And thank you, Michelle. God bless.
Thank you, thank you, Mrs. Victoria, thank you. The product design people, you don't know what this woman has done for you. You don't know what she did. Sincerely, of course, you can relate. I think that was last 2 weeks when I posted the deadline for the capstone submission. You notice that after some minute, I changed it to I had to extend it. So you don't know what happened at the background. You really don't know. She was the one. It left to me. I think you should finish that capstone project in a week. That was my goal. She was like, no, no, no. So, but thank you so much, ma. Thank you. I can't emphasize this enough. I can't say this enough. Thank you so much. I don't want to say this, but we were able to make um this training free. This training could only be free um because your community managers and instructors volunteer to do this. That is the bitter truth. They volunteered to do this. we didn't pay them a dime. We didn't, of course, just imagine if you want to pay them for 3 months of their service. Just imagine they didn't take a dime. So when you are saying thank you, know what you are saying. If you really enjoy this, and if we imparted you, um, um, so please, uh, it can only be free because they didn't take anything from us. So when you are saying thank you, know what you are saying, um, and mean it from the bottom of your heart. So Miss Damilola, I can see you here. Please, I would like you to unmute your mic and address your people. They are waiting for you. Mrs. Damilola Olagoke, Mrs. Damilola Olagoke, please unmute your mic and
Hi, good evening, everyone.
good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to meet the whole house. I think during the orientation I was not available, but meeting the whole house, I can. This is massive, though. And I would like to say thank you to our instructor from PM, Miss Fumlayo, um, Mr. Palumi. Like, they did a lot when they came on ground. And I want to say big thank you to our class rep. Like, I wouldn't have done this without her.
Oh, we can't hear you, ma'am. Please, am I the one? Mrs. Damilola.
Without their help. There are
Okay,
times
yeah.
that I'll be very, very busy and they just show up. Can you hear me? Thank you.
Yeah,
So
we
I'd
can hear
like
you
to
now.
thank my class rep. I'd like to thank Samuel. I'd like to thank Oyin Consola. And for those that are active, like my heart goes out to you big time. That you guys come through every time. I don't know if Olushola is on this call right now. Olushola, I'd like to say thank you to you. Thank you for coming through every time. I'd like to thank Maria Sunday. Thank you for coming through. Like a whole lot of them. And I wouldn't have even done this without their help because there are sometimes that I'm really choked up with work. But when I go back to the Slack group, I just want to appreciate my class rep sincerely. I don't know what to say more than that, than the instructor. And there are days that we had to plead on their behalf, especially that capsule time, then the assignments. But I just want to say thank you to Adeyemi also for listening to our plead, and also Sir Christopher for also listening to our plead. So I think that is all for now. And as you all that has been learned, because if you have to go outside, you have to pay a whole lot to learn what has been given to you for free in this cohort. So everything that you have learned, I would like every one of us to go out of our way to learn more, not just what's been taught during your classes. So you should go out of your way and learn more, make more research. You can reach out to your instructor on LinkedIn. I think for PM, I don't know for other units, but for PM, our instructors are very, 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 very free with us. So you can reach out to them on LinkedIn. I think Sakolumi is even ready to listen to all of our complaints. Even Miss Fumilayo, she's so I want you can always reach out to them on their LinkedIn page, and I'm very sure they'll listen to us. So without further talks, like what I say, without further talk, I would like to stop right now and give hand over to Adiyemi to take over. So thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you, Mrs. Dami, for doing a very good job. Thank you. I do attend your classes, and of course, I can testify. Thank you so much. Thank you for the good job. So Mr. Mtokwe from Mobile is there. Please you can unmute your mic, ma, and address your Mr. Mtokwe Olorun Shola. Yes, we are waiting for you, ma. Mr. Mtokwe. Mr. Mtokwe. Okay, I think she's not here. Oh, okay. I would like to give someone a very important person um the floor to address us. Is one of our best instructors. There's no award for best instructor. They all tried. All of they gave 100% of their time. But this man, oh my god, oh my god, week in week out, he shows up. Um, Baba they always show up. I don't know how they say that. He always shows up. Oh, Mr. Ayomide Michael is on the call. Our the backend instructor, the ever capable um backend instructor. Please you are here, please I want you to address us for like maybe 1 to 5 minutes. Just Mr. Ayomide Michael, please you have the floor, sir. Mr.
Mr.
AY.
All right.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening,
Good evening,
sir.
sir. I'm glad to be here this evening. I want to congratulate us once again for this cohort. It's really I don't want to say it's a tough one, but it's been a roller coaster of having to go back and forth with the organizers, with the community manager, trying to conclude on one thing. And glory be to God, we are able to get to this stage. I want to encourage everyone that there's still a lot of things to learn. Yeah, there's still a lot of things to learn. You don't want to stop where your instructors to stop with you. There are so many resources online. There's so many there are so many resources online you can learn with. You can just take up projects for the technical people. I mean the front end, the back end, the mobile. You can just take up projects, just do something, get your hands dirty. The community doesn't acknowledge what you know. Are you getting me? They acknowledge what you've done. Do you understand me? You want to get your hand dirty and make sure you are building something to get on your portfolio. Like I've said, there are so many resources online. For my backend people, you can still reach out to me if you are finding anything difficult. I'll still be available for you. If you are trying to do something and you are not getting it, just reach out to me. I'll still be there for you. Thank you, Mr. Isaac. Thank you to every other community managers in all other aspects. Thank you to my community manager too. That's Mr. Samuel Johnson. He's not here. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. So you see, he dropped a quote. The community does not value what you know. They value what you have done. See, now God talks to me, I talk to me, you talk. Oh my God. So that is not only for to the engineers, it's for to everyone. What you know is not valuable. It is what you do. So many people you see that I'm a PhD holder, I'm a this, I'm a that, and they are working for someone that, oh my God. See, the community, people, the world does not value what you know. They value what you have done, what you can do, what can you do. I think Elon Musk was he posted a job one time ago. I think that was like a month ago there about. He said, I don't care where you have worked, I don't care the school you attend, or I don't care where you are alumni. If you like attend Harvard, what can you do? Let me see what you can do. Let me see your portfolio. So it's a word for everyone. As you move on from here, please build your portfolio. Make sure you have quality. That is why we did the capstone, and we are going to the bootcamp this week. We want you to have a robust portfolio that when you go out there, they will know, okay, yeah, this guy, he knows what he's doing. You have so please, they don't value what you know. They value what you can do. They value your resources. How resourceful are you? You have resources, you have a laptop, you have this, but you don't know how to use them. That is why you came to Dive Africa. That is why you are here, and you have learned one or two. Please put them to work. Put them to work. If you don't practice this thing, they will leave you. If you don't practice, they will leave you. For the backend people, for the front end people, if you don't write code for like 2 to 3 months as a beginner, it will leave you. Please put in the work. He said another thing, get your hands dirty. Get your hands dirty. Your hand must not be neat. Get it dirty. Please. We can't emphasize it enough. Thank you, Mr. AY. Thank you for that quote. Thank you. I think I should go and I will go and do a frame. Get your hands dirty. And the community, the world does not value what you know, they value what you can do. I'll go and do a frame. I'm going to save it to my whole calendar now. I'll go and do a frame. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. So before we because we have our guest here, we have GetLink, and we have our HR person here. She's been here from the onset. I saw her here. I met her here. So but before we do that, please if you are here to subscribe to our YouTube channel, you've been here for this is the night week, yeah. And if you are here to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please go and do that now. Because after this course, we'll be turning out quality content on how you can do better, how you can build a portfolio, how you can do this and that, and so and some other things that we couldn't cover in the course of the theory section. So if you are to subscribe, because you can only get the notification when you subscribe and turn on your notification button. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. And another thing again, please I want every one of us to screenshot and post on your various social media handles, on X, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and every other social handle that you use, that you are on. Please screenshot and post it. That is how we can tell people, others, what is happening, and they can know about that Africa. They can come as he did. So we want this to go all over Africa so that they can come and learn, because Africa is short of skill. We are youthful, but we are not skillful. We are youthful, but we are not skillful. So, and that is what we want to correct at Africa. That is our mission. We want to upskill Africans so we can compete globally. We want to upskill Africans so we can compete globally. When you go to the job market, you see Indians, you see Asians, people tell you Philippines, I love Philippines, they are skillful, they can do this and that. So that is, we want to compete with those people. We want to compete, we want to give them a run for their money, we want to compete with them, and that's what. So if you don't share this, people won't get to know about Africa. Please, so screenshot and post on social media handles. So, and again, for the last time, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's for your own benefit, so you keep getting updates whenever we post any content that suits your predilection. So thank you so much. Thank you. So without wasting much of our time, I would like to bring in Mr. David from GetLink. They are our share partner, and I would like to like us to say thank you to GetLink. They are our share partner for this course. Thank you, a very big thank you. Of course, almost all of us we know about GetLink. By now we took an assessment, I think probably like 6 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. So thank you, Davavika. Thank you to GetLink, our share partner. Thank you. You can go to their LinkedIn handle and thank them. Please thank them. Thank you, GetLink. On behalf of Davavika, on behalf of the management team, on behalf of the student, I'm saying a very big thank you to you. Thank you, sir. So, Mr. David, I don't know if you are ready for us. If you are, please, you have the floor, sir. Thank you so much.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Adeyemi. Thank you for having us. Yeah, good evening, everyone. My name is David Olani, and I am a representative of GetLinks, and I'm happy to be here. Right, I think it's an interesting one to see that we have this number of persons stay to this very point. I also attended a boot camp at some point in my life, and I understand what it takes, right, to stay put and try to see it through. I understand that at some certain points, you can get a little, I don't know if the word is discouraging now, where you feel, can I really do this, right? Can I really like get through with this thing and even see if it's going to yield anything or not? At some certain points during my own bootcamp days, I know I had colleagues, I had classmates in particular, right, that dropped off at some certain points along the way. I had persons that changed the particular designation of what they came to learn. One was not aligning, they switched to another and eventually dropped off. But yeah, to see that we have quite a number here who have stayed to the very end is just a very, very interesting height that you guys have reached and also trying to surpass. Yes, I would also like to thank Dive Africa, right? Dive for giving GetLink the opportunity to be a part of this. It is something that's impacting, right? And being able to lead people aright is something that we pride ourselves with in GetLinked, at GetLinked rather. And when we got to know about the initiative that Dive is putting together, we saw the need to align with Dive and be a part of it. So yes, thank you, Dive, as well, for letting us partner in this particular journey. Again, I think a lot have been said as to how important and very cheerful, right? And very, very, I don't know the word to even use to quantify it, but it comes from a place of real impact, right? That things like this can be done for free, right? From the instructors to the organizers, putting their heads together, leaving their busy schedules to try to impact other people. I think is a very, 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 very interesting thing, a very applaudable one as well. Like I was saying earlier, I told you I also attended boot camp some years back, and I could tell you that the boot camp I attended in Lagos, Nigeria, was for ₦1 million, right? We paid ₦1 million to attend a tech boot camp in Lagos, Nigeria. So that was like maybe like 4 or 5 years back, right? And if you are getting to take or be a part of a boot camp that is being tutored for ₦0, I think is something not to take for granted. And I'm really happy to see that quite a number of persons stayed to the very end. So kudos to all of you. And I really hope that you achieve what you've put your mind to achieve. And you just find yourself right where you really want to be for the work you've put in. So yes, I'll just get into why we are here today, GetLinked. So yes, first thing is to applaud you guys for the work you've done and also to inform you of what we are really about. I know the last time we were here, we tried to speak a little as to what we offer at GetLinked and our mission at GetLinked. But I'd just like to reiterate some of that here this evening for you to try to be a reminder, right, to us and see how we can also further assist, right, or offer you services that can place you right in this space that we are in. So yes, at GetLinked, our mission is to seamlessly connect exceptional talents like yourselves with forward-thinking employers and fostering collaborations that leads to success, right? So we try to be that intermediary, right, between employers who are seeking for well-created talent, well-skilled talent that cannot necessarily or do not know how to necessarily go about getting access or getting seen by employers who wants to recruit people of their skill sets. So GetLinked.ai, as it is being said, right? I'll just share my screen just so you also get an idea of what our landing page look like. I'll just share my screen briefly. So you could, at your own leisure, just go on there, find your way around and just play around some things. And eventually we'll get to speak to some of the features, right, that exist within GetLink. So yes, I believe my screen can be seen. So yes, it says that where dreams meet opportunities for a perfect match. So seamlessly, that's just what it means in a very simple manner, right? Where dreams meet opportunities for a perfect match. So you guys have dreamt and you've put in the work and you've said that, okay, we are trying to now be that gap intermediary, right? To try to join these two forces together, the well-curated talent and the employers who want to access this talent, but not necessarily can due to maybe a reason of not knowing how to go about it or not knowing how to position themselves, or the employer who wants to hire, for example, a back-end dev, but it doesn't know so much about it, right? And it becomes a challenge for the employer to really find the best of the best, right, amidst a pool of applicants. So GetLinked does that linkage. So we offer services and opportunities like having candidates get into a talent pool. So candidates like yourself now who have taken a course, right, gone through this bootcamp, you are taking up projects, trying to better what you've learned and fine-tune it to be sure that, okay, it is sticking. We tend to give you room to be able to indicate your, I don't know if I'll call it your presence in the tech space or in the pool of other candidates that have maybe existed before now. But it's also important to note that there's a journey, right, to these things. And with the journey, we like to say, okay, it's understandable and it's allowed for you to necessarily try to learn your skill very well before you eventually start to maybe shoot your shots for big jobs or big gigs. And working in an organization, a structured one at that, would maybe necessarily require you to maybe start as an intern first off, right? And for that reason, we have an intern pool where people who just maybe recent graduates can necessarily fill a form and be part of. And when we sort of have organizations who are looking for talents of that particular skill set, they can easily come, filter the intern pipeline, and try to approach interns that align with what they are looking for in terms of their requirements and the responsibilities that have been set out for that particular role. So GetLink gives you that room to be able to get into pools like that where people can come and fish, if for lack of a better word, right? So recruiters would come and do all of the things I've said. That happens within the internship pool, but also it happens within the pro talents pool as well, right? Where we tend them as pro because we just want to believe that you've gone through the levels of learning as an intern, and now you can be certified as a pro, whatever stage you are, right? For the fact that you've been able to put your hands on and maybe develop something, solve a problem either through design or through code. Yes, you are becoming a pro already, so it would tend you to be under that. But it is important to understand the place of growth and the place of goal as well to get to a particular point. So yes, GetLink offers you the opportunity, yes, to get to meet this kind of employers who need you but could not. Also, we give you room to be able to set up a public profile to help you stand out when recruiters tend to look into what you've done or who you are over time. Like it was said, like you are being necessarily judged by what you've done and not what you have written in one document or what you say verbally, right? It's what you can show forth. It's what you can like put down and say, okay, I did this. Oh, check this URL, I did this. Oh, take this prototype link, I did this. Oh, go and check that Play Store app, download it, I designed it, stuff like that. That's what speaks for you. But we at GetLinked, we give you room to be able to package yourself better, right? Not just for people to come and find you on GetLinked, but for cases where you also want to apply within other job boards or apply to other jobs that have been put out. So we see cases whereby recent graduates or graduates like you guys who wants to apply to some certain roles, don't necessarily know how to go about putting together a well-written CV, right? And GetLink offers you the abilities to bring your CVs and have it passed and revamped to say that, okay, with the advent of AI being the champion at the moment, we understand that users or candidates require things to be done in a certain manner, right? Because most ATS you see out there now are largely being powered by AI. And just as GetLinked is, GetLinked also powered by AI. So the AI that powers GetLinked would necessarily help you pass through that CV you brought in and have a rewritten one for you that would help you stand out when applying to certain roles or certain jobs that must have been put out through any job boards or even the ones within GetLinked. So I'll just show you an example of a particular job pool that we have ongoing, right? And you get to have an idea of what I'm talking about when I say get to have people stand out. So I believe my screen can still be seen. And I am within the GetLinked recruiters portal at this point, right? And within the recruiters portal, you have the abilities to do quite a number of things, right? If you're being a recruiter, you see dashboard, you see talent discovery, right? So as a recruiter, I can come to this section and discover a talent. I can manage my own candidates. I can get to see the GetLinked talent pool, which I've spoken about. I can do all other things, right? Set up assessments and interviews and the likes for recruiters. And like I mentioned, recruiters are the ones that will necessarily come to source for people from pools like this. So I'll just look for a role that I believe speaks to maybe a particular designation. Yes, okay, let me go back end. So I have certain roles being displayed here, right? Yes, so we have certain roles being displayed here, and I will just go into one. So for example, let me go with back-end role. So for growth and marketing, 170 candidates, back-end, 24 candidates. Let me go into this back-end, for example, and just try to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So yes, I have 24 candidates rather applied to this job. And within these 24 candidates, typically, if a recruiter was to go through the process of viewing one CV after the other, it would be strenuous to do, right? You might not see it as strenuous if you're looking at maybe 28 CVs, even though I consider that strenuous. But imagine going through 1,000 or 2,000 CV, right, of applicants. So let me go to this particular job. See the front desk role, for example. It has 1,157 candidates, right, who applied for this job. I don't think any HR personnel or any hiring manager or any recruiter would want to go through the stress of going through those large database of CVs, right? And that's where the likes of GetLink comes in. So recruiters tend to use solutions like this to have candidates apply to their jobs, or candidates apply to their jobs. And when those candidates apply, they come into a pool of this manner where, being a system that's powered by AI, we then use our AI solution to score these candidates. So for example, you can see I have an hierarchy, a list of candidates here with certain match scores. So some parameters must have been set in terms of what the job description is about, right? And candidates will then now get scored based on those parameters that have been set. AI is one doing all of this, right? And to further just show you to know that, okay, these are real applicants. If I come to documents, you would eventually see the CVs that these particular applicants applied with, right? So as a back-end dev, this person has stated all what he has done over the years, and he's able to get scored 74% based off what he has done. So in a situation whereby you're applying for a job and your CV is not well put together, and they're using an AI-powered system like GetLinked, for example, to assess you, it just means that you might be ranked very low, right? So GetLink gives you that room to fine-tune yourself because you are not going to before your CV gets into the room before you, right? So the CV will be the one that makes the first impression for you. So now, if humans are not the ones interacting with you first, your CV is the one they are interacting with, right? Your CV should be able to speak for you. And within pools like this, your CV should be able to be well curated and well written so that when scoring happens, you get to be ranked high. So the advantage that GetLink gives you in a pool like this is to say that if you are registered as a GetLink talent, you've done all that necessarily needs to be done. Maybe you've taken the skill assessments and you've been scored based on the skills that were assessed, right? Also, your CV has also been scored and the likes, and you're within the GetLink talent pool. It means that when a recruiter is recruiting for that particular role that you align with, GetLink is going to profile you or suggest you to that particular recruiter, which necessarily means that you probably did not even apply for this role. But because you are within the GetLink talent pool, you can get referred or shown to that particular recruiter, and the recruiter can easily pick you or can easily advance you to maybe an assessment stage or an interview stage or an offer stage and just engage you basically and move you within his pipeline. So it just gives you that edge over others for the fact that you registered to become a GetLink talent, right? And you've done all that necessarily needs to be done when applying with other candidates that are probably not GetLink talent. I'm not saying that if they do better, right? Or if they are better skilled in terms of what they've applied with, they will not be ranked in that particular details that they've submitted. But what I'm just saying is that it gives you an edge to say that, okay, GetLink help you revamp your CV, right? GetLink, you took the GetLink assessment and it was able to rank you or it was able to score you a certain percentile, right? He knows for sure, he has backings of what he can profile to that recruiter to say that, okay, this person, I have assessed this person through the skill assessment test. I have passed through this person's CV. I can confirm to you that this person is a rising star. This person is a pro in this particular field, and I can beat my chest and offer that candidate to you. So stuff like that is what GetLink offers you, right? The abilities to necessarily just package yourself and get offered to recruiters. We see recruiters come to GetLink and make talent requisitions, right? Not just having talents apply, they come to GetLink and make talent requisitions. Oh, I want to hire a UI designer. Oh, I want to hire a front-end developer. They come with their requirements, and with few clicks or few filterings, we're able to source the best of the best and offer to them, right? So those are some of the things that we offer. But on the other hand, we also offer some certain level of certifications, right? Understanding the fact that you had gone through our personality test, our skill assessment test for roles that are technical tests, we can say we know this person. Hence, we can further, we've been able to judge this person's skill set to some extent, right? Hence, we can certify that this person is who they say they really are. You get so GetLink offers you stuff like that. So in cases where maybe at some certain points you get, I know an assessment was initially conducted earlier. That was just a basic one, introductory one, and subsequently another assessment can be put out, right? And we can use this to further quantify what you probably have learned over time, right? And know how to profile you and also have you qualified to get certified. That's to get the certification that is being profiled or given by GetLink. So yes, in a nutshell, we provide CV personal recommendation and CV revamping services. We provide assessment services, provide skill set assessment services. We provide talent matching services, and we also provide portfolio building services rather also, but this is in a small manner, right? So you can also come and just build a quick portfolio, right? You get linked. So be a back-end dev that have not been interfacing with anything on the front end before now, right? But you want to just have a very quick portfolio out there, right? You can just get linked for that as well. Just something basic, right? But again, it doesn't have to stop with GetLink. There are other tools out there that can give you crazy portfolio options, so you can explore them as well, right? So just anything to make you stand out when applying for these jobs, because as somebody that is in tech space, like I said, it is what you've done, right? So that portfolio will definitely speak for you. So no matter how little the project you've done is, put it together, right? Let it show forth that I have done so and so. So you can use the Getlink Portfolio Builder for that. There are other tools out there that you can also explore. For product designers that probably have been getting their hands on, you can look at the likes of Framer, likes of Webflow, and stuff like that, right? And put yourself together, just package yourself nicely. And coming to a platform like Getlink, you get to easily get matched. So yes, I think that those are the things that we offer, yes. And as more as they come, we'll eventually also try to communicate the service offerings that we can further offer to you guys. So, but my last note would be that don't sleep on AI. Really, don't sleep on AI. AI is doing a lot at the moment. So I think just go with the wave, right? It should be a tool, right, for you. It should be a tool for your development. There are a lot of things that AI would help you do better at the moment. There are a lot of things that AI will help you do faster at the moment. So don't sleep on it, right? Make sure you see how, or you look into ways that AI can help better your processes, right? In terms of your job description. So if you're a UX designer and maybe you're given a brief, that brief is not clear to you, you can give an AI, tell this AI, help me simplify this brief, help me understand this brief better, right? And it will do all of that for you. There are AI tools that can come up with some small wireframes for you that can help you understand or give you a base understanding of what the high fidelity should look like. So yes, things are getting a lot better, but what I'm just saying is that don't think that your learning have stopped here, right? You will always continue to learn and learn and learn and learn, right? So just keep an open mind and try to go with the current wave. And at this point, I would like to take a bow and I'll say thank you very much for hearing us and being a part of this. And for the CV review, I think communications will be given out as to discounts, right? Because for the CV review, honestly, is a paid service, right? But yes, we'll give out further communication as to the discounts that can be availed to the first set of persons that would make a move as to wanting to get their CV review. So yes, as soon as we have a clear-cut agreement as to the kind of discount we want to offer, right? Definitely, I know that the owners and the stakeholders within Getlink will be looking to offer such, right? Discussions have been held, but I'll just get a final figure in terms of the percentile of discount I'll be giving, and that will be profiled to the organizers to further share to you guys. So thank you very much once again for being a part of this, and that will be it from me. So further questions can be maybe passed through the organizers, and we can get in touch and share insights when need be. So I don't want to take your time with answering some of the questions you might have here. So I just allow you to enjoy the moment, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. David. Thank you so much. Thank you, Getlink Africa. Thank you, Getlink AI. So thank you so much, sir. So we'll be having a Q&A session for the next 5 minutes. But before that, before we go into the Q&A session, there's someone that we didn't say thank you to. First, of course, thank you to God, because without him, we won't be here. Without him, this initiative would have come into play. Would have just okay, we want to do this, and so I want to say thank you to Mr. Chris. Of course, those that came, that was around doing the onboarding, you know him, you saw him doing the onboarding. He's the brain behind all this. He's the brain. He just woke up one morning. Isaac, one thing, let's do you this guy? What do you do this guy? So he's the brain. All what you are saying here is the brain behind everything. I would like you to say thank you to Mr. Chris. You can go to his LinkedIn handle. I think Chris Anedi. I think I'm going to send. When I get the link, I'm going to share it on the comment box. So thank you to Mr. Chris. He did a lot. All the resources you are seeing, the instructors, the community manager, he provided everything. Thank you so much. As it's going to be coming up very soon after our next session. So thank you so much. So if you have a question for Mr. David from GetLink, if you have any question whatsoever, please you can before he takes his final bow. So if you have any question, please I'm going to ask you to unmute. If you ask question, just raise up your hand. I can see Mr. Oluwole Oluwabusayomi. So you have the floor. Okay, Mr. Chukwuratu. Oluwole Oluwabusayomi. Yeah.
Hello, good evening. Good
Good
evening.
evening, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much to the presenter. I really enjoyed your sections. Although I came in quite late, but I was able to grab one or two things. So I have like two questions, but I think you kind of answered one concerning the price tag, the pricing of the CV revamp. And I would like to know which of your services are paid and which of them are free. And secondly, I don't know if my question will be kind of too personal or it's not something that should be out there, but regardlessly, I'm going to ask. So I wanted to ask what's like the percentage of, because if it's, because I'm saying GetLink more like, I don't know if it is, but it's sounding like it's like Indeed, like this Indeed app that we have, whereby, oh, if you need a job, you can come in and look for a job. Though Indeed, I don't think they offer CV revamp and all of that. But my question is, if you're going to like bring in job seekers and the likes, if you're going to bring them in, then what's like the percentage of recruiters you have on the Get Linked app? Because I don't think it would be too nice to have lots of, you know, loads of job seekers. I'm a product manager, I'm a backend developer and all of that, but the amount of recruiters on the app or that visits the app is very low. So that's why I don't know if my question is kind of too personal. And that's it. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Oluwole. So yes, I think it's a very interesting ask, and it just goes to say that okay, you've probably given it some thoughts. And I can remember the last question you answered, and maybe I'll ask you to remind me of what the first one was. So yes, in terms of the recruiter sets that we have, so what we pride ourselves with is not count, but quality of, right? And we don't just align ourselves with just organizations who are looking to hire 2 or 3 talents, right? We align ourselves with recruitment agencies, right? I would have said I should call names, but at the moment I would not want to. But yes, we align ourselves with the bigger pictures or the bigger players when it comes to recruitment agencies within the country, right? Yes, we are trying to get into other parts of the world as well in terms of being able to have agencies out there, right, be on the platform as well. But at the moment, we tend to get more of recruitment agencies because we understand that agencies recruit for sub companies, right, or other companies. So an agency can have 100 clients, right? We might not have that 100 clients directly under GetLinked, but one agency already gives you room to 200 clients, 100 clients, and the like. So sourcing them becomes easier. Right? Yes, stuff like that. So yes, that's what I would say to that. And in terms of there's competition everywhere, right? Anywhere you're applying to, especially in this space that we're in, right? It's a very competitive space. Like if we're being honest with ourselves. So your skill is what will set you apart, right? What you've done is what will set you apart. But there are ways that there are times when you've even done things rightly, but you did not just package yourself right. But people that package themselves right, we're now the ones that are able to get into the get in for maybe interviews and the likes before they eventually get chosen, right? But your CV, right, or your portfolio is the very first access point, the very first thing that the recruiters will get to know. So if you package yourself rightly, regardless of what the size of the pool is like, in terms of the candidates that are within that pool, you definitely rank high, right? So long as within the GetLink pipeline, right? And if you're applying to jobs that on other job boards, for the fact that your CV is well put together, your portfolio is well put together, I definitely want to believe that if they have systems that do scorings in this manner that we do it, then definitely it will rank you high. And if it's a human that would eventually have to look through with an open mind and a mind to search for quality, you eventually will definitely go with somebody that has a very good portfolio, a very good CV before you even get into an interview. That would be the first line of people you'd want to consider having conversations with. So yes, that's a very important part that I think that you should.
Okay, and thank you very
Around
much.
the services that are paid for. Okay, you want to say something?
No, I thought you were done talking, so.
Okay, I just remembered what your second question was, and I think that was around services that are paid for. So our services are mostly paid for on the recruiter side of things. For talents, the only services that are paid for now would be CV review, right, and portfolio building. So those are the services that are paid for. But in terms of trying to get into the talent pool, or you trying to maybe take the skill assessment or personality assessment to get yourself some first scoring, right? When you get into the pool with other candidates, all those ones comes for free, right? It's when you specifically come and say, oh, I want you to review my CV. I want you to help me rewrite my CV as a platform, right? I want you to guide me towards building a simple portfolio for my showcase, right? Stuff like that. Those are the two things that are paid for. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. David, and thank you for Sayo for asking that question. I think what Getting is doing is the first in the world. Something like an aggregator. They are helping you to get job listing from reputable companies. We have so many fake vacancies up and there. You apply for this, you just realize that you don't hear from them. So you want a verified job listing. GetLink is your number one go-to platform. So Mr. Chukura, I think raise up your hand. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think you did. Oh, no other question. Okay, if there are no other questions, okay. Bete Omaduka, you have the floor. Yes, yeah.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Getlink. I didn't get your name, so I'll just refer to you as Getlink. I listened to everything. I don't know if my question is kind of an error because I didn't listen very well, but I want to know: is there any services for interview preparations? Because I might get a good score. I might have everything right, but when I get in for the interview, I might mess up because I don't have maybe some of the right things to say and all that. Is there also a service for interview preparations or I don't know if my question is got to.
Yes. I would say yes. By the way, my name is David, but yes, you can call me GetLinks. That's fine as well. Yes, so we have a service, right, that aids interviews, but this service is being assessed or can only be assessed from the recruiter's point of view, like from the recruiter's dashboard, right? Which goes to say that okay, if a recruiter has maybe had candidates that have taken assessments, and due to their number, he wants to get them interviewed. But yes, they have a very high number count, and he wants a means of being able to reduce the number of candidates that he would necessarily have to interview personally, right? So GetLink gives a recruiter of that nature the ability to set up interview questions and have the GetLink system conduct that interview for him or her, right? You would have invites sent to those candidates, and those candidates will be able to take that interview or be within that interview within the comfort of their home, right, over a video chat where questions will be thrown to them. They would reply verbally, right, answer to those questions. Those questions will be recorded. Transcripts will also be made available to that recruiter, and it can make informed decisions from there. So that's the part that exists today when it comes to interviewing with GetLinked. But I like your question, and I think this is also part of something that we have within our backlog, right? So we have several stages within the onboarding stage, right? We have the CV passing stage, we have the skill assessment, the personality assessment stage, the skill assessment stage, and technical assessment and the likes, right? But within the personality assessment, it's the only place where we tend to have you interact over a video conversation, right? But it's not necessarily preparing you for interviews. But yes, it's something that we can always put together. I know we have a particular module within the application that sort of tries to help you prepare for even assessments and not just interviews alone. So, but that is a module that has not been fully developed at the moment. But yes, I think it's a very good question, and it's something that we definitely have within our backlog, but it is not available to be used by talents at the moment. Assessments can only be assessed through the recruiter's end, where they get candidates invited to take assessments to interviews rather, to questions that they must have set up before now. So yes, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Mara Sunday, please, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening. My question is kind of personal. Yeah. I wanted to ask a question about the job, if they are remote jobs or in-office jobs. And also I am interested in the certification. But just a little problem because I don't stay in Africa, I stay abroad. So I wanted to ask if it's kind of a problem both for the job and also the certification. Because I believe the certification would be more useful to me than maybe actually the job because of where I stay.
Okay, thank you for that question. I think the first one was around, are they physical on-site jobs or remote jobs?
Yes.
So yeah, these jobs are largely determined by the recruiters sourcing for talents at that point. So, but honestly, with the advent of COVID-19 and with what data has shown us, most organizations, right, now tend to have, even though they don't have a fully off-site job model, they tend to have an hybrid model. But again, we tend to see data tilting towards fully remote work, right? So yes, it is largely dependent on what the recruiters at that point necessarily want. We don't get to determine the type of jobs that they should have on there. But yes, there are a good count of remote jobs and as well as hybrid jobs and just a few, right? But based on data that we have that are definitely aligned to on-site jobs. But yeah, we don't determine that. And in terms of the certification, right, I think it's something that just gives people that room of, like, for example, you do the Google UX certification, right? I take a Google UX course and I get certification. It can be used anywhere. It just goes to say that, okay, you took or you attended a particular bootcamp, you were nurtured, you were taught, and you went through an assessment phase, and I can certify that, okay, oh, this person did all of this. That is why this person has this certification to back up whatever it claims to have done. So the certification is not only tied to a particular region, it just is a testament of what you've done, right? So it can be tendered anywhere, right? But again, it's just certification, man. So again, it's what you can do that necessarily would speak volume. But yes, certification can be tendered anywhere, basically.
Okay, thank you. And also, sorry, I wanted to ask the price, if it's possible, like if the price of the certification.
Okay, so I would allow Dive eventually take up that conversation
Okay.
eventually. Yeah, but it's not. I don't expect it to cost you anything. So but I like that if they couple that
Okay.
conversation.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I I don't think you started with us, but probably you're not around doing the boot camp. I saw you doing the onboarding. Certification is free. This training is entirely free of all charges. And just so you know, Dive Africa will be giving the certificate, and also GetLink will be giving you like Mr. David said. So, but for GetLink certificates now, you have to take an assessment. So you don't want to give a mediocre certificate that you something that you don't know. Like so, but for Dive Africa, if you attended, you did the capstone, and you are in the boot camp, you finish the boot camp, of course, you are entitled to a certificate. So that's that. It is entirely free. It is free of all charges. We are not charging you a dime. A dime. We are not charging you a dime. So it is free of all charges. So I hope that is have a thank you to
Thank you.
Mr.
Okay.
Chris, to get linked and to your instructors. So thank you so much. Thank you for that question. It is free and free of all charge. So Mr. Oluwatosin Titilola, you have the floor.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. So, thank you, Mr. DME, and thank you, Dive Africa. Also, thank you, Getting for the presentation. So, my question is, I don't know. Maybe I missed out on it. Maybe you might have mentioned it or something. So, I just want to know how Getlink. I mean, you guys verify jobs that that comes across your desk. I mean, job verification, because it's wanting to pass through series of assessments, interviews, and find and on I mean, after getting the offer, you start on it, like you start on the job and you begin to see some lapses or some loopholes in the job, I mean, the company. So how do you verify the job to ensure that, oh, this job is, the job is, how do I put it? I mean, the job is real. Let me put it that way, for lack of better word, right? I mean, the job is real. I mean, the company, the work environment is not toxic, and stuff like that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that question. So yes, what we try to do is try to vet the kind of organizations, right, that are allowed on GetLinked, and the recruitment process, or the onboarding process rather, is not a just come and provide your name, email, and number, and you're in, right? We tend to ask for things that are unique to organizations. So, peradventure, you're somebody that is tasked with scamming people, right? You are skilled with that. Want to come and get things and say, okay, you're hiring for example, Microsoft, right? We know that Microsoft is not hiring through us, right? So, but somebody wants to come to GetLink and say, well, I'm hiring for Microsoft, which is a lie, right? You cannot do that on GetLink. You cannot even get onboarded to start with, not talk of even posting that job. So what I just mean is that within our recruiters onboarding process, we tend to ask for unique things that are particular to that particular organization. We ask for company domains. We ask for work emails that are tied to those domains. And without those things, you cannot necessarily get onboarded as a recruiter on GetLink. So that means that you cannot just come and fabricate any institution and say you want to get onboarded on GetLink, which just cuts out the whole fear of, oh, who is this person recruiting and all those things. But when it comes to the work culture of that organization, I'm telling you, there's no means for us to tell, right? What we know is what we can see, is based on the information we have. When somebody gets into an organization and eventually starts to perform, that is when, or eventually starts to mingle, and over time, that's when you can really tell what necessarily happens there. So we cannot say, oh, we know these organizations to the very end. What we can say is that we know them based on the information we have, based on the verifiable information we have. But based on their work culture, I don't think anybody can tell what the work culture of an organization can necessarily be, right? Same thing goes for talents, right? Recruiters are also, they also have this skepticism sometimes when talents are being offered to them to say that, okay, yes, this talent is A, B, C, and D. He has the best skill and everything. What if his personality is not the best? We cannot necessarily be able to tell until you get to that talent, until you get to that particular recruiter and you get to start working, you get. So it's a two-way thing. There are some things that can never really be deciphered. There are some things that can never really tell per se, you get, until you eventually get in. But we try as much as possible to vet and to be sure of people that we have within our platform. So yes, that's what I can say to that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. David, for the answer. We can never say never. You can't be 100% sure. Like you said, they try as much as possible to verify uh, the jobs. Like they are I won't say 100%, like, but I'm sure it's 99% sure when you go to the get in. But when you learn the job, when you get on the job, or how the company treats you is another thing entirely. But the jobs are verified, and like I said earlier, what they are doing is like the first in the world. They are sort of an aggregator. They aggregate um, from different job listing sites. Oh, this verified job and all that. So you can see everything on getting and all that. So, and he made another statement, like a very very important statement, when Mrs. Mara was asking about certification. So certification does not really matter that much. It's not that it does not matter. It's going to open doors for you. Yeah, certification will open doors, but it is what you can do, that will make that big breakthrough yours, that job yours. So it is what you, of course, I'm a PhD certificate, I'm a PhD holder. What can you do for me? That is the question. Don't leave your certificate alone. So, of course, certificate will open doors for you. But what can you do? That is what really matters. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Mr. David. Um, I think there are no other questions. There are sort of none. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tosin. Thank you, Maduka. Thank you, Mara. Thank you, Luwole, for your questions. There are no other questions. Someone is raising up a hand. Precious. Okay, you have 1 minute. You have 1 minute. Yeah, you have the floor.
Uh, okay, good evening, everyone. So the question I want to ask is about the assessments that we did. Are we going to get a result for it? Or so that's what I want to know. The assessment that we did for Get Linked.
Okay. Mr. David, are you still here, sir? Oh, I think your question your question is late. But I think you should get a result. I think you should. I think you should. Since it's not here. So, but I think you should get a result. You should get a result for the assessment, because of course for every exam there should be a result, right? So you should get a result. So thank you for that question. I think, but to me, I'm not Mr. David, but you will get a result. Yeah, Mr. Chris confirmed that you will get a result. So thank you. Moving on to the next session. Um, she's been here for over 130 minutes. So I would like to call on uh, to invite one of our HR person, Mrs. Kenny, to come on board. Mrs. Kenny, Mrs. Kenny along Shola. Please, are you with us, ma'am?
Yes, I
Okay.
can hear you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I'm sorry for keeping you waiting. I even met you here, so sorry for keeping you waiting. Thank you so much for staying to this time. So you have the floor, ma'am. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, Adeyemi. Hi, everyone. Good evening. I hope we're having an amazing day. This has been very insightful. Apologies, I have a very loud background. I'm going to try to make this as fast as possible. So, a very short introduction of myself. My name is Kenny. I work as HR for a fintech in the US. Aside that, I run a consulting company where I help companies find great talents. Most people know me as the career lady on Twitter, where I post job opportunities, training opportunities, and all of that. So, yeah, you might have come across my job post once or twice. And if you have, that's great. So I'm just going to go straight into my presentation. Unfortunately, I don't have a slide to present, but I hope you can hear me. I'm going to try to make this as fast as possible, like I said. So before I go into that, I just also want to say thank you for having me. And aside that, I think that this is a very, very amazing what's called initiative. And I say that because I've seen the work that has been put into this. I know, oh, somebody's asking. So it's the career lady. So I know some of the organizers personally, and I've seen the work that they put into this. So seeing this, the idea coming to full fruition is very exciting, and I'm glad that so many people have benefited from this. I know a lot of people that wanted to break into the tech space, and seeing that, I'm seeing like over 100 people here, and I mean it's very exciting to see that. So diving straight into this, so I want to talk about how we can understand the tech market. Also talk about how we can build a strong portfolio and resume. Funny how Get Linked has already, that's David from Get Linked. I listened to your presentation and you touched most of what I wanted to talk about. So I'm just going to, I'm just going to glide through it, right? And see how best this can be done very fast because that's the plan. All right. So, firstly, I would say that as people who are breaking into tech or people who are pivoting, for instance, you're working in, say, CX and you're now very much interested in product management, product design, you need to understand that it's a different job market out here. For instance, myself, HR, the job market for HR is very different from tech, right? So it's very important that you understand the job market that you're going into because it helps you to prepare in a certain way for the application that you're going to put into it and all of that. So first off, I would say that I know everybody here has experienced the pandemic, and we saw how that was a very huge, or he had a very huge part to play in the tech industry becoming even more recognized. People started learning about tech, understanding what tech meant. We now had more competitive profiles and portfolios from people during that period and up to now. So I would say that the industry has evolved over the years. Unfortunately, it has its cons and obviously its pros. Cons, I'm talking about the layoffs that has happened due to economic shifts in the several companies. You've heard, well, this company is laying up hundreds and hundreds of people. However, there are still people who are, or companies that are constantly recruiting. So it's not to say that the tech industry is only experiencing the negative side of having, a very large people coming into the space, but you're having like the positive side as well. Right now we're having companies that are in high demand for roles like AI. They're now trying to integrate automation into their system, having or trying to look for people who are in cybersecurity because they're trying to touch several security points in their companies and all of that. Now most companies even want to be involved in the analytical part of their business. It used to be, what do you think, right? It was very subjective before, but now employers want to see figures, they want to see numbers, they want to see trends. So now they're now actively looking to hire data analysts for their company. So a lot of roles like that are coming into play. A lot of systems are being built around that to bring more people into the systems. And I'm glad that we have people who are learning, constantly learning, to join the platform. So I think I would now go into talking about the trends that have been happening. And like I mentioned earlier, most of this not really started, but got more popularity from the pandemic. And I'll give an instance. I get a lot of DMs on my Twitter page most times from people saying, "Oh, I want to go to this university. Do you think it will be recognized when I'm looking for jobs?" And I tell them most of the time that it's not a key. So for me, and because I'm a very unconventional HR, I like to think of myself that way. There are a couple of things that some HR people would do in my field, and I wouldn't really understand why they are doing that. But for me, I have recruited and I'll give real examples. Software developers, front end people that have no college degree. I'm talking no university degree. But I currently have somebody on my team. His highest qualification is high school, and he's one of my best hands in the engineering department. So I'm not big on your university. I'm not big on where you schooled. I'm big on your skill sets. So I think that that's one thing that we need to understand. Also, because most people who are pivoted to this tech, part, you didn't study tech in university, you didn't study engineering, you didn't study computer science, you have studied something different, or you have even built a career in something different, and you're now moving, transitioning into another whole industry. So I think that it's first important and good for you to have the mentality that it's not about the paperwork now. It goes beyond that to say that what skill have you garnered over the years and can you show? Because it's not just about gathering the skills. You need to be able to show for it that you are skilled in this aspect. I really hope that makes sense, because for me it plays a very key part of my recruitment. I don't recruit people based off their college or their college degrees, but I recruit based on your skill set. If you are good, you are good. And like I said, very, very obviously it's not where you're going to get everywhere, but this is just how I reason, this is how I think. And yeah, another thing is trying to understand and work on soft skills. So there are a lot of soft skills and people lack this a lot. So I was interviewing somebody recently, and in fact this person reached out to me on Twitter and was pleading, oh, he needs an opportunity, just even an interview, and he's sure he will get in. And then I had the interview with him, and I kid you not, the manner in which he was communicating was even so weird, because even no matter how close you are with somebody or somebody, please keep things professional in interviews. And maybe I'll talk about this more when I'm speaking about interviews. But he started using I really don't want to go into it, but I think the essence of what I'm trying to say is keep things professional, because you really don't know who you're speaking with, and that's where the communication skill comes into play. Also, you understanding how to solve problem, be a problem solver. If you're a data analyst, you need to be able to see how best you can use that skill set to solve for certain things in the company. I, for instance, I'm in HR, but I'm also a data analyst, and when I am trying to make certain decisions in the HR department, I use my data skill. I analyze data, I create data visualization, I send to the board, so they don't just have like theory from what I've said. Oh, Kenny said XYZ, and we're going with it. No, it's not just Kenny said. Kenny said, and then there's data to back it up. So I hope that you understand that. There's just a lot actually. And unfortunately, remote work is going down. It was very high during the pandemic, but because of a couple of reasons now, it's now really going down. But there's still companies that offer remote jobs, a lot of them. And there are companies that offer like hybrid, mostly. It's now mostly hybrid and all of that. So I'll just stop there for like the trends, because again, I'm trying to rush. So how can you stay competitive in the market? I think that the first thing is for you to upskill. Yes, now you've done Dive Africa, you have learned a lot of things. You've learned how to design, you've learned how to analyze data, you've learned XYZ and all of that. Don't stop here. I used to say something in my company that even if you win Employee of the Quarter, it doesn't mean that's the end. It doesn't mean that status is not going to stay on. It's not a badge that will stay with you forever, because next quarter we still need to assess. So it's like a game that you need to keep playing. If you stay obsolete in the market, you're going to be one of those that will be forgotten. So do not stay on that lane and get comfortable. If you have learned a certain skill set, say you learned Excel now I'm using data analysis a lot because that's where I'm more all of this software development, you'll not catch me there. But like data analytics, I can speak a bit more about that. But yeah, it's like you've learned certain tools like Excel, you've learned XYZ, and you're now in a company, you see everybody using Power BI, and you are still stuck on your Excel. You know what's going to happen? Somebody else is going to get recruited for that role, and guess what? You're no longer going to be needed. So it's not just about favoritism at some point. It's now about, oh, who has a skill that is mostly required or that we need most in the company. So please ensure that you are upskilling. Again, even if you're the best in the team at skill one, ensure that Q2, you're striving for that same perfection. Another thing is showcasing your work, and this has to do with building openly or not. Um, so not everybody can be openly. Some people are very much introverted, even in their work. I'm not going to say make sure you build openly, make sure you go to Twitter and post your job and all of that, but ensure that you are building so that when it's time to show proof for what you've done, there's evidence that you've actually done something. This ties to a lot of things. When you're submitting your CV, don't submit CVs alone. Ensure you've attached a portfolio because it's very competitive. The market is so competitive, you don't even want to understand. When I saw GetLinked present that, what's it called now? The page basically, and then I saw a particular job that had 1,000 applications. I kid you, that's how it is for us as recruiters. Sometimes I receive over 5,000 applications for just one job post. And I'm not going to be sentimental because I have that much applications to review. It's good when I have AI to help me to streamline, shortlist a couple of people, and then I can just, go from there. But when I don't have AI, if I'm trying to pick people that are the best, and say 70 people attach their portfolio, you are damn good than the 70 people, but you don't have a portfolio. It's going to be very difficult for us. Like, because I'm just going to phase you out completely because I have people who are already ready. So you need to be actively ready, for whatever is going to happen. And please ensure that you attach your portfolio. I'm speaking because I think that even for tech generally, no matter which field you're in, it's still very important for you to have your portfolio attached. So you need to showcase your work. If you choose to be openly on social media, that's good for you. Amazing. A lot of people get opportunities, and I'm talking international opportunities from building openly, while some haven't or some don't. And in that case, you just ensure that you have what's it called? You have your evidences, which is basically working on project and having them on your portfolio. Another thing is to network. So don't stay in your circle. Now, as somebody that has recruited for a number of years, let me tell you a secret. And you're not going to. So most people believe that you apply for certain jobs. When I was young, I used to hear that there are jobs in Nigeria where they pay millions, right? For I'm just in Nigeria. Okay, well, some people will not agree with this, but because I know, I can say that there are some interns in Nigeria that earn close to 800K, and it's possible not to believe it, but it's happening. Some interns earn 900. We're talking 1 million. You might not believe it, but I've seen firsthand. And most times these jobs don't come through application, they come through referrals. So get your network right. Now, by networking, it's not like I see people just jump into LinkedIn and say, "Hi, I saw this application. Please, can you recommend me?" Before I recommend you, I'm putting my name on the line, and I expect that you're somebody that I can vouch for. That's not for me. That's not a way to go about it. Networking has to start with like whether a formal or informal introduction of yourself. Say certain things, find a common ground where you can, discuss something about, and then you start having conversations around, oh, I see you're working here. Can you refer me for something? It's not possible, even if it is, it's a bit rare to see people recommend you when they've never met you before, they don't know you, because recommending you means I'm putting my name, I'm putting my trust on the line for you. So please network. We meet people at events, say hi, talk about what you do, try to work together to work on projects and all of that. It helps a lot. The last one is to be flexible. So because most people are starting out, I would advise that you consider like contract roles as well. Don't turn down contract opportunities just because you are looking for like full-time jobs. It can be like a stepping stone to that mountain that you're trying to get to. So that's that. So I don't want to delve too much on resumes anymore because Get Linked had already talked about how you can automate that process for yourself, which is very cool. But I'll just breeze through what I believe about resumes and what I've seen. So try to avoid using generic resumes. Don't download resume from the internet and use the same format. Don't you can also use technology to the best. You can use ChatGPT, you can use any of these AI tools, but be very smart and be very careful with whatever you're copying or whatever, because I see people send cover letters and I'm seeing that bracket that says put your company name here. It only shows that you've not been diligent enough to use the AI properly. You're putting something, the AI is asking you to put in something and you copied exactly what the AI said, the prompt and everything, and you're sending it. So be very careful. Yeah, it has happened a couple of times. So be very careful when you are applying that way. Also don't try to overload information. Don't put too many information because I promise you, we don't have the time. If I have like 2,000 applications, I'm breezing through it. And because I've been using for so long, I can scan resumes very, very fast. So if you put in too many information, so many unnecessary information, there's no time for me to do all of that. You're just going to waste my time, and I also will get bored easily. So I want to be able to look at your CV on the first page and get an idea of who you are, a first impression of who you are and what you can do on the job. Also use keywords. So David from GetLinks talked a bit about ATS. And the truth of the matter is, if you're using too many graphics, ATS might likely not recognize the key aspect of your resume. So be very careful when you're using like pictures. You don't need that on your resume. If you're like a product designer, yes, your portfolio has to contain certain things, a lot of images, if I may add. But if you're when we're speaking resumes, please don't put your picture. Don't put. I've seen terrible things, I promise you. Jesus. Let's so I've seen a lot with resumes, and it can just be very overwhelming when you've constantly spoken about this and there's no change. Everything is pretty much the same thing. Everybody's doing the same thing. You're seeing people apply, and they are it can just be very overwhelming. Don't want to get too much into that. Another thing is, yeah, I've spoken a bit about this, so it's poor formatting as well. You're using like 5 different fonts for one resume. For me now, my eyesight is wonderful, please God, but I want to be able to look at your resume and see. So don't use cursive for resumes. There's absolutely no need for that. Just get straight into the point. Put like yeah, I squint to see resumes because of I use glasses. So like if you put like cursives, yeah, I'm gonna get tired. I'm just gonna skip to the next person. So that's something that you should also take note of. Also, please focus on your achievements. People tend to put a lot of their job descriptions. It's just too much, and it's not a bad thing. Also, because of our country and our, the continent we're in now, we tend to focus more on the work that has been done and less about the impact that has been made. So please focus a lot about your accomplishments. Talk about what you've done. Personally, I encourage people using metrics. I see people conversing on Twitter, and that's why most times I don't engage on Twitter, because my views are different. I am a data analyst and also a HR person. If I see you put percentages in your achievements, I can read and understand those things. But some people would say, oh, there's no way to account for that. Trust me, there's a way to go about that. So it comes with like the knowledge of having an understanding of how data analytics works and all of that. So if you have metrics, please go ahead and put your metrics. So what else? Yeah, so I can also with portfolio as well. Let me just say that if you have an opportunity to be a part of a project, please take that opportunity. It helps a lot, especially if you're transitioning into a field. Please, what I always even encourage is, if you have a group of friends, you guys are learning something together, just come up with something, an idea of something, and just build a project or something. An instance is, yeah, I like to talk about my twin a lot. She was transitioning from um more of, yeah, she studied English and she was basically trying to move into product management. And as somebody who had no experience of any sort, after a boot camp like this, she aligned with some of her friends, and they wanted to view like a product together, which I think was very amazing because it helped her into launching her product management career. So that's something that I encourage a lot because I've seen it happen a couple of times. And even when I recruit people, I want to see that you've done a couple of projects. Put your GitHub link, have things written there. Also, work on case studies. If you have blogs, documentation, very, very amazing. For me, I don't think there is a limit, but let me say that it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality of work that you're doing. Put impactful what's it called, projects. So there are projects that speaks to or addresses situations like solutions or problems rather in the community. There are things that when people see, they're excited by, not the normal city bike data sets and all of that. There are things that you can come up with, and this is very exciting, this is different from the norm. So be very innovative when you're coming up with things like that. So you can put, I think I would advise about 3 to 5 projects if you have that. If you have 3 to 5 years, that's very that's like on an average scale. That's totally advisable. Please, if you blog as well, blog about your tech stuff, include it. It's very, very very nice as well. So lastly, I will talk about interviewing. So I'm going to say this because I know that people don't understand how interview structure works. And this is not a one size fits all, but this is like what happens in most companies. So you have where you have the initial screening, where a recruiter either calls you to discuss your background, your salary expectations, and all of that. That's like a screening, or sometimes they call it preliminary call. I literally like to just pick up my phone sometimes and call candidates. Hi, this is Kenny from XYZ. I got your application, or you were referred by XYZ person. I like to confirm a couple of things. Sometimes they already ask you, oh, what is your salary expectation? And for some recruiters, which again I don't support fully, they ask you what you earn at the moment. If you ask me what you should do, I would say you don't tell them. However, if you for your expectation, please research on what it's like. If you are not sure, you can say, can I get back to you on my expectation? Don't be too quick to tell them. Don't give them figures and you shoot yourself in the foot, because I promise you people earn a lot. And do not ever think of yourself really low, because I promise you that people earn a lot in Africa. So there, that's that by the way. So also there is the part of technical assessment. Now technical assessment can be either an assessment sent to you via email, or sometimes in my company, my engineering manager prefers to have like a call where we're all on the call, and they would have been pre-informed that, oh, you're going to have it's very short, a brief assessment on the call. You're asked to turn on your screen and do type a couple of codes and all of that. It can happen either ways, where you can be sent an assignment or an assessment and told to return it in a couple of days or not. People don't now let me say this, and I'll say this because even the fact that I'm a recruiter, sometimes I'm a job seeker, right? So I'm a human regardless. So when you're asked for assessments, I understand the aspect of being scared that the company is going to use your work. Here's how you can go about it. So what I like to do is you can clarify via email that if it's not written there, some companies will write it there clearly that your assessments will not be used for any other purpose than intended, right? That's very clear. However, if you're you're trying to be very careful about the situation, you can request and say by email, can I please confirm that this assessment will not be used by the company for anything XYZ. That's a tip that you can use if you want to avoid story that touches the heart. But it's a normal procedure for tech roles, and it's that way because you, as a recruiter, you can recruit people based on they say. People are very smart when they talk, but it's not the same most times when they come into the company. You start asking yourself, and also because you're going to have them in the company for a long time, you want to be very careful of your hire. So another one is behavioral interview, where we ask you certain questions, how you're able to solve questions. You hear questions like, tell me about a time when you XYZ, XYZ. So we're basically asking you to tell us how you solve certain situations if you were in that, situation again. And the approach to answering this is like by using a SMART method. Just very, if you first off, you state your problem, you state how you went about it, what you learned from it, and all of that. So it's an approach that is very, very easy, to go about. And the last one, final round, usually for it's like cultural feeds, where you get to meet, say, the CEO or like the head of the department, and then they're asking you certain questions about how you'll be able to fit. Now let me say something about culture. Don't try to fit in an environment where you cannot thrive, or you cannot stay. I, for instance, I'm sorry, but I can't work in a place where I need to call somebody now outside again. And I know it's weird, but like that's just how it is. I'm saying that the meeting shell is about to end. I don't know if it's for the meeting or like just a note taker, but I'm going to try to wrap up as fast as I can. So basically, what I'm saying is, don't try to fit into a culture where you'll be frustrated, because our generation is very much different from that of our fathers and our mothers, where they can stay as long as 20 years, 30 years in a place, as long as that place is feeding them. But we strive for growth, and that's not something that we've had previously. We strive for career growth, career advancements, mental health, very, very important, because I promise you that some people will frustrate your living like anyways. So you just have to be very careful of the kind of environment you are going into. If you don't think that they are good, if you do not think, now for me, because I have family and friends that when they get a job offer, they send to me. Usually they send the name of the company, because I can be a star educator sometimes. And I'm like, okay, cool. I start my research. Go to Glassdoor. You see reviews there. When you see the reviews of some companies, you will shake, like you'll be so scared. And in fact, it can be terrible. Go to Twitter and type the name of the company, you see reviews. You need to be able to check for yourself. Now, if all of those things happen to not be available, another way that you can go around is go to LinkedIn, go to like probably a past staff. Now, if you're using a past employee, always ensure you're also using a current employee, because you want to be very careful. So use both and ask questions. How was the work environment? A very important question. How is the person I'll be reporting to? Is the person mean? Questions like that. I once got into a company and I had asked already. This guy was trying to protect the company from me. And when I got there, I literally told him, I'm going to curse you, because it was that terrible. So you have to be very, very careful. Make your own research. Do your own research as well. Go to all the social medias that you can. Type out the name of the company to be sure that you are not being scammed. By scammed, I'm saying that you're not being scammed into an environment that will frustrate your life and your effort, because there are companies like that they sit down and they just want to frustrate people. So be very careful. I guess I've come to the end of my session. I tried to make it as brief as possible, even though I feel like I talked a lot. But thank you very much, everyone, for listening to me. I guess I'm going to hand over back to Adiemi. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Kehinde Olorunsola. Can anyone hear me? Good evening, guys.
Hi, Christopher.
Thank you again. Thank you for getting me to come have this short conversation with us. I know it's been a lot of back and forth, but once again, thank you. Because of our time, I would allow us to take. Can you see have like a few moments with us? I would allow us to just take a few questions because of our time, and then we could talk about the bootcamp, which would end the conversation for today. So I will take just 5 questions. So let me see. Okay, I don't think we have any question at the moment. So I'll allow like a minute. If we do have any question, you might want to raise your hand now or type on the comment so she could just take a question, and then that would be it. So her handle again is the career lady on X. So you might want to follow. I think she posts a lot of job most of the time. You might just need it. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, so I don't think there's any question. So again, thank you, the career lady, for stopping by. I think from time to time we'd have you for a few things. I don't want to disclose so much. Yeah, some active members don't know that. So we'll have it from time to time, and then we'll have that one on the back in our back office. So I think we'll just have one question, and then we'll roll over to our bootcamp conversation. Juduche, I'll give you the mic for a minute. So if you want to ask a question, you can go now.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for the amazing presentation, Kende. Just a question around the metrics, basically. For someone who fights with maths every single time, how do I go about, like, I can measure my performance based on like theoretical like means. I can say I actually did well, right? How do I go about putting these metrics, like the percentage you talked about? Will I just come up with like random percentage to say maybe after I designed this kiosk application in 2020, it's resulted into 80% improvement in terms of walking customers, something like that. Or I would have like a tool that I can use to help me get like an exact value. Since you said there's a way data analyst knows how to like kind of analyze this data and make sure it is genuine. I don't know if you get my question.
Yes, I do. Hi, Jude. So I think it's important to say that metrics should be taken from reports. So most people generate numbers, from wherever, and that's when it now becomes very inaccurate. And then we're like, prove this, because you can be asked questions during your interview. Can you prove this number that you have on your resume? And if you're unable to, it only shows that there's some, they are like, it's not entirely true, right? So for someone like me in HR departments, I create reports, and the reports are taken from numbers. So yeah, they're taken from numbers. For instance, we have an average time to hire somebody. So that alone is a metric. Metrics are very quantifiable, and then you're able to take that metric and use it. Okay, so I'll use an instance now. When I joined a particular company, they had a turnover rate that was running into negative. So we're saying minus 20 something percent for like turnover rate or something, or ENPS, which is like net promoter score, how well you're loyal to a company and all of that. Now, after 3 months, I came up with some strategies, had conversations with like the management, and then we did a couple of things to ensure that people were more satisfied, and we reduced trying to reduce the turnover. That's the rate at which people leave the organization. And eventually, when we measured it at the end of the quarter, it was very different. So I can now take that number, which is I came up with strategies to increase or improve the EMPS of the company from minus say 20 something to 80% in 1 quarter. I don't know if that makes sense to you. So be very specific with your metrics. And if at all you don't have reports to back it up, actual reports to back it up, please don't put metrics. You're very fine the way you are. Talk about your achievements. You're like a product designer. Please write it out clearly, what you have done, the contributions you have made in the company to improve something in the department or whatever. But again, like I said, if you don't have like proper reports to back it up, don't put it. I've had an interview one time. This is my own personal interview with another company that was trying to recruit me, and then they asked me, can you prove these numbers on your resume? And then I said that every single thing on my resume I can prove, and I can show you reports for it, because I have data to back everything up, and that's because I constantly do reporting, so I have data to back up everything. But if you're not in that situation, then you shouldn't, go that route. So that's what I would say.
Thank you very much. Yeah, point.
All right, thank you. I think that would be all for that session. Thank you, Kenny, once again. We are grateful that you're able to stop by. So moving on, once again, good evening, guys. Sorry, there's a bit of noise on my background. So at this point, we'll be having conversation around our bootcamp. So first, I want to start off by congratulating everyone that's on the call and a few other persons that were not able to join the call that would eventually be watching the recording later. Once again, congratulations for making it thus far. I mean, it was a roller coaster. There was a bit of back and forth. Yeah, so I think I just posted our X handle on the chat box so you could look at it. So again, congratulations, guys. You have made it thus far, and I want to talk about a few things. But first of all, I want to start off by saying and expressing my appreciation to everyone in product, we call it stakeholder, that has been on this journey with us, starting off with our instructors, right? So I think on the call we have just a few of them. I would have loved to. No, there's no attendance for this session. There's no attendance. This is just getting to let you understand how the bootcamp will run and going forward what you need to know, right? So I was going to say, I want to express my appreciation to every of our instructors. We have a few of them here. I can see Ayomide Michael on the call. I think his X handle is AY0Bug on X, and then Ayomide Michael on LinkedIn. Just in case you want to reach out to him. I think I saw Peter earlier, so you could also follow Peter on X and then reach out to him on LinkedIn and Paula Peter. And then I think I saw Ebenezer. I don't know if he's still on the call. Those are the people I think I've seen so far, right? So that's for backend, mobile, and then data. And then we have some other instructors that are not here. So we have, I think from the design, we have Yakub, we have Olani and Emmanuel. Thank you. Whenever you get to see this video, we have on the PM, we have Pelumi and Fumilayo. On the data, we have Okike, Ebenezer, and Timitope. On mobile, we had Peter, Rashid, and David. Then front end, we had John. And then back end, we had Ayomide. So these guys are putting a lot of work to bring us thus far. I mean, I could tell you how you don't know the conversation that had happened back end for all of this thing to happen, right? So they're putting a whole lot of work. Most of them poured out their heart. I know, truthfully, the entire cohort that the training was scheduled to run for 6 weeks, right? But they kept pushing. No, these guys have not covered enough. These guys have not cooked enough, right? The idea was to give you a base point where you can now build off on, right? So on the job, there are most now you get to learn on the job. So just wanted to give you a base point where you can continue your career. For most of that switching, but they kept pushing. I know the countless calls that have been trying to explain why this thing cannot extend more than 7 weeks or more than 6 weeks, and then they kept pushing even till earlier today. I was having a call with Ayomide and he kept saying, I know that the backend guys that they are saying everything that he wants to cover up with them. I mean, these are people that have poured out their heart to see that a couple of persons are impacted, right? It's a whole lot. I know when myself and people will be talking or we'll be having a conversation, and they'll just be talking about several things, right? So I just want to express my gratitude. And then to our mentors, we had a bit of a few mentors that stopped by just to share a bit of their knowledge with us. I mean, out of their busy schedule, they just stop by to share a few tips with us here and there. It's a whole lot, right? I want to also say thank you. I think we have a few of them here. I mean, I'm able to start calling all of their names. And then Get Linked, right? Get Linked has been a part of this journey, right? From sharing ideas on how we could approach certain things and seeing how they can support us on the journey, right? Because we're trying to make an impact, and this we can't do alone on the entire journey. And so they've always been there. You know, sometimes I'll just put a call to David. David's done on this call. So okay, see, there's this we're trying to do. What do you think? Share me your thoughts, right? Okay, so these guys that are in this training, how the idea is. Now, let me share a bit of background. Sorry, I know our time has it's gone. But let me share a bit of background. So the entire dive idea started off from trying to help people get jobs, right? So I realized that we had a few persons that were partly skilled, but they didn't have a job. Right? I mean, I've had to reach out to me, I'm looking for a job. If you have an opening, just let me know. So that's where it all started from. Like, there are too many people reaching out to me. I'm not a recruiter. I'm not Kenny. I'm not in HR, right? I can only refer you if I get if someone speaks to me that I need a mobile engineer, I need someone. But I don't do that all the time. So I felt, okay, so how do I help? And then we started off as a newsletter. That was where we started off as, like, trying to get all of these openings, send out as newsletters. And after a while, I realized that the few newsletters that we sent, people applied, but some that were not completely skilled to get these jobs, right? Just as Kenny had mentioned, right? There were no proof. So that's why we now have pivot to say, okay, so what else can we do? Now, instead of just sending out jobs on newsletter, which is what we'll continue later, let's even try and see how to get people to be skilled, right? And then start bringing people together, having conversations, and then this is where we are. So it just didn't work at once. So we had support. So when I was speaking Get Linked, okay, so we are trying to train people. How do we get them to get jobs? We need, like David had mentioned that there are some very big agencies that some of them, if I want to call their name now, that are on Get Linked, that are massively recruiting all the time, right? So we have a couple of them there, and if we can get people to train people and then get them on Get Linked Talent Pool, that would be a whole lot to help them get the job. So how do you guys help us? That's where the conversation started from, and then this is where we are today, right? And then even the civil review that he talked about, which is one that I was going to also mention, right? We also have the conversation. Please, you have to give our guys a discount. I know this is the amount, but what can you guys do for us, right? So you've been a part of this journey also, and then our community managers. I mean, these are the engines that get the entire thing running, right? And sometimes I'm on a call, extended hours of call, but I am confident that classes will hold. I'm confident that the data guys will have their classes. I'm confident that front-end will have their classes. I'm confident that back-end will have their classes. I'm confident that mobile will have their classes. I'm confident that design and PM will have their classes because I trust every community manager that I have. Now, sometimes they've had some glitches here and there, right? They'll call me. I know, like, on my screen, I can see Temi. Temi is one of the community manager for mobile. Even till this, like some years ago, we were having a conversation. So our mobile guys, what's up? Where do we proceed from here? I would have call with Victoria. She'll be calling. No, Chris, so you have to speak with Ademi and another guy. So these guys cannot do this capstone project in 1 week. It's not possible. It's not possible. I mean, these are the guys that are fighting to make sure that things keep running. Now, this is the trust I have in them, and that's why. I mean, I've had times where I would have calls. I've been in a review meeting, see maybe like 10, 11. But classes are running because of the community managers. So there are a lot. I can't be mentioning all of their names at the moment. But I have Temi, I have Mademi, I have Johnson, I have Damilola, Dami, I have Alex, and I think I have some of their names are skipping my mind. I have Victoria. These guys are trying to make things work, right? Thank you once again. Thank you. I am very grateful. Now, moving on, like I mentioned earlier, the idea for the entire thing was to give you basics, psychology basics, to give you structure, base points where you can now continue building your career on, right? Now, that we've tried to do, so you would observe that our curriculum is rich, that almost everything is touched. At least you have faint knowledge of it. Now, when you get on the job, there's something that you will never use. There's something that you use every day. So we try to see how we want to make sure that you have solid knowledge. Now, the rest of the things, as you continue your job, you will learn some on the job, you will learn some on the go. Right? So that's one of the things that we try to do. Now, however, like most of the other Kenny had mentioned, David had mentioned, I feel that person had mentioned, continuous learning is what I have to stress. Continuous learning, like this tech thing, learning never stops. Like, right, you keep learning every day, you keep improving on your knowledge, right? Now, that's one of the things. That's one of the things we try to achieve with the capstone project. Right now, you've learned basics, right? As you proceed, you want to also learn. You want to also be able to put those basics into practice before you get to start working with teams. You want to put those basics into practice. You want to improve on your knowledge. Now, this one does not stop here. We're trying to see how I want to provide avenue that will try to always help you in your learning phase, in your learning journey. That's the conversation we're having on the table at the moment. So I would urge us, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, you might want to do that right away, because we keep showing out content that will just help you in your learning phase. But however, there are thousands of content online. Just keep on the learning phase. It's very important, right? David had mentioned portfolio. Kenny had mentioned portfolio, so I don't think I want to talk about that anymore. But you need to build a portfolio, put yourself out there, right? There's something that Mayomide mentioned, right? I've forgotten now, but it was very pivotal. So just put yourself out there, build your portfolio. It's very important, extremely important. So I think I'd mentioned the job posting, and Kenny does that already, Career Lady, and we're also trying to see how we could help. That's why we have Get Linked, and then see how we could try and put you out. And then I think after this period, you start getting our newsletters and talking about a few things, sometimes attach jobs to it where you could verify jobs. So some of you would get jobs via Get Linked. A few others that possibly you already do that might want to be shifting job later, you could also get a new offer. So that's one of the things that we hope to do. So it's very important. Now, the bootcamp, which is one of the major things that we are supposed to talk about today, right? So first we have the qualification phase, which most of you have gone through, right? Like we mentioned already, general onboarding when we started, we had mentioned that the requirement is you must make 75% class attendance and or 75% assignment submission. Right now, for everybody that had done that, we qualified you to participate in the capstone project and also in the bootcamp. I think I saw a comment where someone had mentioned that. Let me see if I can get that comment now. Hold on. I think someone mentioned something around that you qualify for the bootcamp once you want to. Now, if, like Ademi mentioned, if you think that you did qualify for the bootcamp, but you are not slated for the bootcamp, it's fine. Sometimes this error happens. We are all humans. We're not very perfect, right? So what Ademi had mentioned was send a what's the word you use now? I don't want to say please. I don't want to say petition. Send a mail to James at dive.hq.online. Just send a mail, so your case will be looked at, and then we'll see how we could help. Right, so it's very important. Now, for everybody that qualified, now the team structure had already been done. The team grouping had already been done. If you check on Slack this very moment, I think you would see that a post has just been dropped by our JME for the entire team. So we have 8 teams today. We have Team Durban. We have let me see if I can pull that up now. I know we have Team Durban, we have Team Lagos, we have Team Dhaka, we have Team Accra, we have Team Kigali, Team Cairo, Team Nairobi, and then Team Port Louis. So we have all of these 8 different teams. Now, the entire 8 teams will be working on 8 different projects. Right now, you're working on projects together. Once you have released you're working on these projects together. So we'd have the product guys, the design and the PM. I think they would kickstart first. They would start off with the entire documentation and then the design process. Sorry, 1 second. So they'll start off with the entire documentation and then the design process, right? So I understand that the front end and the mobile will come in from after next week, I guess. That's when the designs are ready. But PM and design would likely start first. Most likely PM will start first, and then design will join later, and then other people will start joining, and that's how we progress to building an entire system. Now, I also know that each team will be working on different sectors. So we don't have Team Dhaka and Team Durban working on fintech, because that's one of the popular teams in Nigeria today. Everyone wants to work on fintech, right? So we are trying to sectionize every team to be sure that everybody's trying to find solution to one aspect or one problem that we see in our everyday life. So what we did was, for every team, there's a sector you're working on now. Everybody on the team would come together and decide what problem they want to solve in that sector. For example, if you're on, let me just hold on, let me get the data. So if you're in Team Port Louis, for example, Port Louis is working on transportation and logistics, right? So all of you in Port Louis will come together and decide, okay, what do we want to work on transportation and logistics? So you look out for the problem, you make your research. That's why you have the data guys, and the PM guys will make their research, get the data, and look at the data guys will analyze data for them, and then we'll have them make a decision based on that data, and then designers will proceed with the design once the PM are done with documentation. I mean, some of it you guys already learned in your class, so I don't have to be explaining them in details, right? But that's what it will look like. You'll be working on the different parts, and then at the end of the bootcamp, right, that's in 4 weeks' time, we'll now have a defense. So everything would come defend what they've had. I don't want to be too forward, but one thing I would mention is for, I wouldn't say the best project, but the most, what the word I will use now? I don't say impact, the most impactful project, but the most enticing project, let me use that word, would always have, we're trying to see how we want to make a bit of an encouragement for the effort that we expect that you put in. Now, one of the conversations we are having with GetLinks is a particular team would be flagged off as ambassador would not be the right word, right? But there's a conversation we're having on GetLinks. I'm just saying this now so that we're going to put our mind to the project and put in more effort, right? So GetLinks is planning something for the team that will come up with I wouldn't say the best idea, but we'll come up with what's the right word now? I don't have, there's a word I don't want to use. I'm looking for a word to supplement it. But the team that will come up with a very, will I say a unique idea? Okay, I'm trying to use a particular word, right? But yeah, innovative idea. Yes, that word could also help. The team that will come up with a very good innovative idea. So GetLink is trying to see how they could flag them off, push the team more, and possibly, who knows, you guys can even turn into a business, to a startup. Who knows, anything can happen, right? But that's one thing we're looking at doing with GetLink, except for getting onto their talent pool, which is also important. And I think Madame had mentioned that once you're done with the bootcamp, you get a certification from us. That's standard. GetLink is also certifying you once you're able to pass their assessment. Yeah. So I was going to mention that. So everything will get to do it depends on whatever they've worked on, and then would now have would have them rate us. Yeah. So basically, that's what the bootcamp would be basically about. I know for the mobile class we've had a bit of glitches, which you've had a bit of communication. I think we've talked about a few things. And I think that's already been sorted on the background just to help everybody get in line. And then for the data class as well, we're also planning something slightly different for you guys. I mean, you get a proper communication later. Then for the rest of the team, yeah. So officially, we would say that we are in the bootcamp phase. You have been grouped. A channel will be created tonight. So would suggest that would usually advise. So we're not forced to take certain decisions. So we usually advise that you know the team you belong to. We advise that you try not to join a channel that does not belong to, because this time our channels will be open, not like your chat channel, right? So you know the team you belong to from the document. You can see where your name is, join only that channel, and you guys can have a conversation from there. So you would have a Meet link that will also be provided, so you guys can have call, on Google Meet. If you guys are creating free accounts, usually it lasts for maybe an hour, and I also understand that sometimes you guys might want to have calls. I mean, we want to start building together. You will start timing better when you're having back and forth calls. The designers will be claiming that the front end guys or the mobile guys, this is what I designed. Those back and forth. So you get a Meet link with one of our premium account that could help you have long extended meetings. If you guys want to stay on the call for 10 hours, that could also be guided. And then so we try to speak with your instructors to try and see if they could be available. That in most cases where you're stuck on something, you might want to reach out to any of them, ask them questions or seek for their advice, right? You could also reach out to them. We're trying to have a conversation with them, and if a few of them are said, they'll try and make themselves available. But if a few of them are able to give us a response, but once they give us a response, we'll let you know about that. And then we also see how I want to get a mentor be aligned to a particular team just for help and guidance. So that's still in the playbook anyways. So, but yeah, basically officially we are on the bootcamp phase. You've been grouped. So tonight, so from tomorrow, we expect that you guys will start having conversations, then start meeting yourself, getting to know yourself better, and then start falling into alignment and proceeding from there. Right? So we expect that the PM guys will start implementing what they've done. And then now the idea is for you to work with teams, because eventually when you get into a job, you eventually be working with teams. You'll be working with, as a PM, you'll be working with engineers, working with designers, working with marketers, you'll be working with customer support. Now for this cohort, we don't have CX, which is customer service. We don't have marketing, which we don't have the digital marketing guys for this cohort, right? But eventually you have to be working with them, because you always need data to do a few things. So for now, you're working with just the charts that we have today. The PM will be working together with designers, working together with engineers, front end, back end, and then working with data guys. And then I also understand that the back end guys will already start building stuff already. So I'm already getting tired. So the back end guys will start building stuff already, right? So yeah, but that's basically how it will work. That's basically how it will work. Sorry, 1 second. So that's basically how it will work. Now, we've grouped you right now, so we believe that everybody is an adult. You will not expect that people be fighting yourself. I mean, there might be back and forth here, but I mean, not obviously fighting. So one of the things that we usually recommend is once you start having conversations that you choose a team lead and an assistant team lead, right? Just as we had it in your classes. So it's easier to reach out to you guys. I mean, it's not that you're the leader, like per se. You know what this is, Anna. Just someone that would keep things rolling, keep things organized. And like we had for the classes, I mean, someone that's a little bit available now, someone that's a little bit available, so that to handle certain things, right? So you're able to want to send reminders for your meeting, because you know how your community manager will be sending reminders for your meeting, be checking on assignments. They'll no longer be doing that for you. So this is where a few of you will have to now be proving, showing your leadership quality, So I mean, it's your thing, right? You guys can decide to choose a group. We strongly advise you do choose a group lead, right? And then from your group lead, you guys can add continuous stuff from there, right? So basically, that's all. Our time is always fast, and we spent over 2 hours on this call, which is too lengthy. Yeah, but basically, that's the conversation we're supposed to have today. Now, you have an idea of what you're to do next. You'll be guided on how to go about it, and then we'll allow you to do your thing. So we want to meet again after 4 weeks, where you guys will now be showing us what you have done. Now, this thing that you have done, like I was last time to talk about now, is this thing that you have done. We believe or we expect to be your second portfolio project, right? I think there's a content that will be releasing shortly about building very good portfolio, both for engineers and both for technical and non-technical guys, right? Your capstone project, we planned that so it will be your first portfolio project, right? Where you showcase and talk about as you try to switch job or bid for your next role. And then what you'll be working on in teams together with other team members will be your second portfolio project. So this would prove that you can work alone and you can work with cross-functional team. Right now, you guys can decide if you want to, maybe at the end of the day, if you want to push your product live. So let me say the guys are working on, I think in Portuguese are working on logistics, and you can transportation and logistics. You can decide that okay, at the end of the entire thing, you want to push your product live. It's left to you guys. We cannot say don't or do not do it. Right? If we can help, we'll see how we want to help you guys. Maybe to provide a server space for you to just at least let it just be live for maybe about a year. So it can help most of you get your next job. So the idea is to make things easier for you to get your next job, right? If it's to provide server space for you guys, we'll just see about that. So at least you know that we worked on a particular maybe web application is live today. You can always look it out. So like I was having a conversation with somebody a few months ago, that portfolios, it's sweeter when portfolios just have it's talking about idea and your skill, but it's also better when you can put on live projects. So that's what the basic idea. I think that would be all. We spent over 2 hours now on this call. It's length already. Yeah, so let me. Yeah, okay. So one last thing before I take questions. Now you're in the bootcamp phase. For most of you that are transitioning to tech or that wants to move to a new role, right? You can now comfortably go on LinkedIn and add an experience to your profile. You can just start Dive Africa and add an experience to your profile. We will recommend that, and I mean if we can. Sorry. Yeah, so you can now go to Dive Africa, add an experience to your profile, internship with Dive Africa. So you can add, for example, product manager. You can add product management intern with Dive Africa. So you can comfortably do that. And if we can, as much as we can push out the recommendation on LinkedIn. when the operation guys have time, they could do that, right? But right now you can add that to your portfolio, and I always recommend you can take screenshots. Yeah, so you can always do that. It just helps to show that you're making a move, you're transitioning, at least you have an experience. That's the idea. Now you're working with the constructional team, you have an experience, you can just do that at the moment. Right. So it just helps to show that you don't just have the knowledge theoretically, you can also work with the knowledge, or you've worked with the knowledge. Right, and it can also help a recruiter that's scanning through your profile. I mean, you can also add it to your resume, right? If they call to reach out to ask, you can always verify that. So yeah, so basically that's what we want to talk about. Yeah, I'm not sure. I've skipped anything except for the fact that I think we mentioned that already when we started. That except for Getly, we are seeing how we are trying to work with other businesses to see how we could recommend a few persons for an internship placement. I mean, like I mentioned, the internship would let you know that these internships are on page, right? However, if you get there now for Getling intern pool, right? Typically every HR that comes from Getling that hires an intern will typically pay them. Right? But when we recommend, we want everybody to understand that our recommendation would let the recruiters know that payment is optional. Now we strongly advise them to pay, but we don't want to put them through that stress of we cannot take because we want to pay. The idea is to get you guys to have production level experience, like I like to mention it. You're a designer now, and getting to work on a product that is live, actually used by real users, is one thing you should strive for. And sometimes to get that is to work on a team. And usually, if a team does not have the financial strength to hire a new talent, getting you on board for maybe relatively low cost, they can still be able to accommodate that. However, in my experience around this tech space, I've realized that you could be on a particular team, and when you join them, the conversation was, let me just come join you guys, build into you guys. You don't have to pay me, right? But I've realized that there's no team that you'll be on that you'll be productive with or on, right? That will not give you anything to take home at the end of the day. That's one thing I've realized in my experience. So you could join a team, say, don't have to pay. Let me just come work with you guys. Let me just build with your engineering guys. Let me just learn. I'm a back-end engineer. I just finished from a bootcamp. I want to have production level experience. I want to work with codes that are in production. I want to work on products that are used by real life users, right? And then you're productive. There's nobody anywhere that will say, these guys work for us. Let us tell them thank you, God bless you. In my experience, they will really say, okay, we can't pay you enough, but take this 50K, take this 100K. I mean, you could always start with that. It's small, yes, for most people, but it just helps you build as you go along. Yeah, so except for Getling, we are trying to see how businesses we could work on. Now we are trying to work with that. We can make a recommendation. Okay, we have this list of people. These are their resume. This is what they look like. If you want to hire, just consider any of them. And then if it's an internship placement, and I will put this on for them. Yeah. So I've talked a lot. I'll just take a few questions and then we'll call it a day. So if you have any reservations, any question, any feedback any feedback on the entire training as we hold, and we would love to take feedback. And after now, you get a feedback from where you could share us feedback, so we would know what we had. I mean, we know that we had a lot of lapses. Some of them we try to correct on the go, right? So, but we want to get feedback on your instructor, feedback on your community manager, feedback on the entire training itself, and general feedback, any other additional feedback. I think you get it from after now. Share your feedback. We'd really appreciate if you can share your feedback. It is very important, so we could improve on certain areas and then get better, at least for the next cohort. Right. One last thing before I start taking questions is, please, we like people to talk about it, right? I mean, when you were signing up, there's one last question we asked, that if you'll be willing to, I don't know if you can remember that question. If you're willing to give us a feedback, right, before and after your journey, so we'd appreciate if you could talk about it, post about it online, tag us, tag Dive Africa, you could tag your instructor, you could tag your community manager, you could even tag myself. My name is Christopher Anyeji. That's what you will see online, right? Just tag us. So the idea is for us to be able to get visibility and see how many people we can impact. We have a number we are pursuing, right, to be sure that we are impacting as much people as we can. with the little resources that we have, right? Now, the only way this can happen most times is visibility, like David and Kenya rightly said, visibility. Right? So post online, take screenshot as we're on this conversation now, post online, and then tag us. We'll try as much as we can to always respond. Yeah. So with that being said, I will just take a few questions and then we'll call it a day. Sorry for the extended call. Precious is Sibo. Hey, your hands are raised up. You have the mic now.
Okay, thank you so much. I have two questions. So the first one is how many weeks is the bootcamp? And the second one is you mentioned that you go with the most innovative idea, get certificates from Get Linked. So I want to know if it's just them or everyone.
Okay, so the bootcamp will run for, typically it's supposed to run for 4 weeks, but if you tweak, I would like to extend to 5 weeks. Now, the 5 weeks is because we want the product guys. When we say product, I mean it's an entire product team, right? But we really recommend the product managers and the product designers, the product guys, but because product starts with their name, but the entire team here is the product team. Data, backend, front end, mobile, PM and design is the entire product team, typically in every organization. And so we want them to start off work first. So we have the product managers, product designers, and then the data guys to start off the entire process. So once the engineering guys are coming and joining in, are actively joining in, so they have what to start working on, right? They have what to start working on. So typically it will run for 5 weeks. And so we have 1 week to the entire startup. So because you might need to make research, get users' feedback, and then before and those feedback will not be analyzed by data guys before we now have designers start working. And then by the time the engineering guys now in the entire mix of things, when you guys are having your first initial conversation, when you guys are having your brainstorming session, I mean everybody will be on the call, engineers will be on the call, designers will be on the call, PM will be on the call, data will be on the call, because you guys are a team, you want to brainstorm together, you want to share ideas, you want to share thoughts, you want to share conversation, right? So, but the actual when AY had said get your hands dirty, will be started by the product team. Now the backend guys can start working on the endpoint. We'll start working on the endpoint on the background. We'll start working on the endpoint on the background, right? But mostly the engineering guys will join in later, right? So it will run for 5 weeks. Start one. Now, secondly, the Get Linked, right? So everybody that takes Get Linked, now everybody that finishes the bootcamp gets a certificate from Dive Africa. That's certain. Everybody that takes, that's the first certificate you get. Everybody that takes the Get Linked assessment and passes it qualifies for Get Linked Talent Pool and get a certificate from Get Linked. Now, you might not necessarily be interested in the Get Linked Talent Pool. Right? Maybe you already have a sister or a brother or a friend that's a child that can always help you get your first role, maybe a junior role or an internship role, right? That might be your own case, or that can be anybody's case, right? So you might not necessarily be interested in talent pool, but once you take the assessment and you passes it, you qualify for your certificate. So they will issue you a certificate as well. So you end up having 2 certificates as you're leaving. A certificate that you've taken this training, you passed, and this is, I mean, training. Our curriculum is actually very rich, and then Get Linked is not certifying that you're good for the job, like David has rightly said. So I don't know if that answered your questions and questions.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome, ma. So are there any more questions? Yes, Oluchi, you have the mic.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma.
Yeah, I was qualified for the capstone. So when I complained, they asked me to join group 7, that the group the list will be that they will add my name to the list. So I joined the group 7. Till now I've not seen my name in the list. So you said you are going to drop an email where we should send an email and report. So I don't know if you are still going to send the email or is there any other way?
Okay. Okay. So I think Ademi would send would drop the email where you should send your complaints on. Where you send your complaint on with proof. Where you send your complaint on with proof, and then your data will be looked on, and then your data will be looked on. And then your data will be looked on, and then they would see how we could go about it, right? But for
Yeah,
everybody that
she asked me to join group 7, though I have already joined group 7. We started working on a project already, but I'm not seeing my name in any updated list. That's the issue.
that's on the capstone, I believe, not on the bootcamp that was just posted this evening.
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah. Okay, what will happen is I think we'll look at it and then we'll circle back. Right? Because I know typically what happened during that phase was everybody, some people that qualified and maybe they were skipped for for certain reason, right? They sent in a complaint. So they sent in a complaint, and then their data was looked on, and then where things could be done, things were done, right? But for this, I really can't say much. But we'll look at it and we'll circle back because I don't know the specifics of your concern, right? But I know that you can always send a mail and then you get response to james@divehq.online, and then you get a response, right? So yeah, I think that should answer that. I see a few questions on the chat box. So if you go on the chat box, let me just see if I can take a few before we all go to bed. I think tomorrow is not holiday, so most of us will be going to work. Okay. Once you receive your so the capstone defense, I'm not sure every track has completed that defense, right? So the remaining part of this week would be used majorly for the defense of the capstone project. That's for classes that have not done their defense. And I know if your classes have started, right, the ones that have not started or the ones that have not completed it, will continue at their defense for the capstone project for the rest of this week. And then, I mean, the defense is not really so much. You've already done the project, just come and talk about it. Just on the call, like, just come share your screen and talk about it. And then you guys can continue having your conversation on the side for the bootcamp with your team, the entire team. So I don't know if that answers your question, Christiana. So the client is asking if you weren't able to finish the capstone project for the deadline. You were saying looking for the bootcamp. I think a few of you
Yes.
actually on the bootcamp. Yeah, I think a few of you yeah. Sorry, you want to mute now. You're echoing. Yeah, okay. So I think a few persons are still on the bootcamp. I'm not so sure, but the idea was you should have completed the capstone project before you get on the bootcamp, so you're able to understand what you want to do with other team members. So you won't be showing this. I'm not saying now. So you won't be coming to prove to as a designer, you won't be coming to prove to the front-end engineering guys that you don't know what you're doing, or as a back-end guy, you won't be coming to prove to the data guy that you don't know what you're doing. So that's why we had the capstone project initially. Right? So I think if you have on the bootcamp, if you're not, you should send a mail and then we'll see how we could help if your reasons are genuine. Please, we need the email for those who are qualified but not added. I think I already mentioned it. Let me just type it now. So it's james@divehq.online. So that's the mail. You can always send your request there. So I'm getting a DM already. So hold on, let me get the right name. So I'm getting a DM from, okay, sorry, not James, it's Skydive. So this is the mail. It will be sent on the Slack channel as well. So you can always send your concerns there. It's not about those that are not qualified for the program. So I mean, to get a certificate from that, you should be part of the bootcamp. So that's the only way we are sure that you don't just, because I mean, some people can just be going back and forth, and even use an AI to even do their assignments, just join the class and they're not paying attention. The only way we can be sure that this that you did, you're actually armed with it is when you can build stuff with other persons, right? You've done a capstone project and then you're able to finish the project with work with your cross-functional team. So when we are issuing a certificate, we are putting, like Kenny rightly said, we are putting our integrity in line for you, right? So we want to be sure that you know what you're doing. So everybody that will get a certificate from Dive should have completed the bootcamp, just as everybody that will get a certificate from Get Loot would have passed the assessment. So that's just the basic rule. I mean, if anything changes on the long run, to be communicated. But for now, that's what the basic rule is. I don't know if that answers your questions, Oluchi. My LinkedIn, my name is, okay, let me just type that now. 1 second. So I don't even if any other person has any other question. So that's what my LinkedIn is. That's even correct. Yes. So the LinkedIn for all the social handle. Now, if you also look at our posts, you will see that for every instructor that we made a post on, every mentor we did tag them, so it's easier to follow them, right? Okay. So basically that's okay. But for community managers, I'm not sure we did that. So we would have that communicated. So we'll have that communicated. I think it's called it's getting too long. Just ask me a question now. When is Bootcamp starting officially? So Bootcamp has started officially, right? But I understand that most of you will not start working for like from tomorrow. You get to start having the conversations. So the list has already been sent. You get the Slack channels for each of the team will be created tonight. So you can only join. Please join only the team that you belong to, right? If you do not belong to any team, say your name is not on the list, send a mail to trydive001@gmail.com, and then with genuine reasons and proof possibly, and then your case will be looked at. But yeah, that started. My show will start from tomorrow, so you get the remaining materials that you need to continue. I wasn't able to meet up with council period due to some feelings. Does that affect me during the bootcamp? So look out for the list. If your name is there, it's fine. If your name is not there, there's no magic that can happen. So you might want to send a mail stating why you couldn't finish it and then you looked on. Yeah, so I think that answers most of the question. So I have a few messages on my DM at the moment that is saying that sorry, 1 second. They're saying that there are some classes that you guys still have. I think the PM instructor is messaging me that he has a few classes with you guys, same as the back end. So a few classes that I need to cover up. So I think they could still put those classes. Once except for today, that because of this call, except for today, most of the classes will still happen. I also understand that the mobile guys are having a few other sessions, right? So a few classes might still happen. Though that doesn't stop any other thing from happening, right? Just that they really want to be sure that they offload fully to you, so you won't be left hanging. Right? So that can still happen. But however, we started and this is the next phase. So I think that being said, and no other question, to call it an evening. Then once again, congratulations and do have a restful night. I'll say good night here.
Good night. Good night. Thank you, Mr. Chris. Good night, sir. Good night. Who's
Good
listening?
night, sir.
Good night, sir.
Good night, sir.
Good night, sir.
Good night,
Thank you very
everybody.
much. Good night, everyone.
They say good night. Everybody do good night. Make me to do good night too.
Patience, okay. Good night, everyone.
Good night.